moments before kick at the New Meadowlands, where the Giants should present a good challenge to the Bears where they need it most, a remade offensive line. Lovie Smith saw his quarterbacks get sacked 9 times in the preseason opener. What do you expect to get fixed tonight that wasn't working in the opener?
Well, first off, we just expect to play a lot better. 9 sacks, but, a lot of that, wasn't the offensive line's fault. All I can say is we practice, pretty hard. We feel like we have it corrected. We'll see tonight.
You've said Jay Cutler seems different. How so?
Well, first guy in the building, to start training camp. Just, physically, he's done a great job with his body. Just feel like he's ready to go.
We look forward to seeing him. Thanks, Coach.
All right, Susie, thank you. Tom Coughlin, Lovie Smith, they've both been in these jobs for 8 years. Coughlin's 16th year as an NFL head coach, the great run in Jacksonville. His team has won the toss and will receive, so Brian Urlacher and the Bears defense will have at it first here tonight. That's Devin Thomas, who was the second-round pick of the Redskins back in 2008. Didn't work out there at all. Trying to find a home with the Giants. Back to take Robbie Gould's kickoff. And from about 7 yards deep, Thomas will bring it out. A nice return to the 27-yard line with DJ Moore making the tackle. So the Giants bring out one of the 29 quarterbacks to win the Super Bowl. Eli Manning, 7th full year. Jaws is the Giants starter.
Yeah, and he's very durable, Mike. 103 consecutive starts. Last season, over 4,000 yards and a career-high 31 touchdowns. However, 25 interceptions last year. That must be improved upon, and Eli Manning has taken that personally. He's going to improve it.
Officially start from the 28. And it's Ahmad Bradshaw, chased by Peppers. But a gain of 9 for Bradshaw, who's going to split the running chores with Brandon Jacobs. Bradshaw had 130 more carries than Jacobs last year. Also working with him up front, Travis Beckham, new tight end. Keem Nicks and Mario Manningham are the 1-2 in the wide receiving core. And this is the change in the offensive line we talked about. Beatty, Deal, David Boss comes over from the 49ers. The guys on the right side, Snee and McKenzie, return. So the left side and the center readjusted for Manning. Gain of 9 for Bradshaw. Going to lose about 4 yards there. Matt Toina came in first to make the play. One of the starters on a good defensive line. We featured Julius Peppers, of course, the terrific defensive end. Henry Melton has been a star this preseason, turning heads. Linebackers, Lance Briggs out, minor knee injury. Brian Ewu starts. Brian Urlacher, perennial Pro Bowler, there again. In the secondary, 3 of the starters return. New is Major Wright, a draft pick last year. Takes the job of Daniel Manning, who went to Houston. There's Urlacher, year 12, always active in the Bears middle. Well, we talk about all the stuff with the left tackles. There's a move by Beatty.
False start. Offense number 65. 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
I've seen Julius Peppers do this for about a decade. He gets a lot of left tackles flinching. You can't do that as a left tackle, but the fear of Julius Peppers' ability to jet right by you causes a lot of these offensive tackles to get out early. I think that's as good as a sack. When you force an offense into penalties, that ought to show up on your factor gate.
Without 3rd and 10 for Manning, who hangs in there, throws underneath to Mario Manningham, but he's going to be well shy of the first down. DJ Moore and Brian Ewu, and the Bears force a 3 and out.
That's not going to make Tom Coughlin happy. Last week they were 0 for 5 on 3rd down with their starters against Carolina. Right away you see the penalty on the left tackle. It's a 3 and out, and punting the football with this young man Dodge was an adventure last year, guys.
But an excellent job by the Bears defense, John. That 3rd and 10, they played that cover 2. They love to play so well. They give it an underneath throw. Eli took it, and as Tom Coughlin said, sometimes that 3rd down short completion, hey, that's as good as a punt, so they're going to punt it.
Matt Dodge, who did not get a nice reception from the home fans. A great kick, 63 yards. Took Johnny Knox to the 5. Return to the 16. And a long field for Jay Cutler and the Bears.
Well, we all know Cutler has the big arm, but he's also very mobile. Ran for 232 yards. In year 2 of Mike Martz's system, I expect a lot of improvement. Cutler lost a lot of weight. He's worked hard on his fundamentals. Only question I have is, can the Bears protect him?
The number was that issue, the 52 sacks. There's Mike Martz, of course, the offensive coordinator of the greatest show on turf, the St. Louis Rams team that won the Super Bowl, then took that team over and had great offensive success with them as well. Now his second year as the offensive coordinator for the Bears. Matt Forte is the running back. And he's chased down for a loss by Michael Boley. The Giants linebackers had a bad back the last week or so. The Bears around Cutler. Forte and the ex-Cowboy Marion Barber going to share the load. Roy Williams also from Dallas. Devin Hester, they keep telling us he's going to be more of an impact at receiver. And Kellen Davis, they are wowed by what he's done in this preseason. The rebuilt line, Jamarcus Webb, the left tackle, Chris Williams, and the new center, Roberto Garza, moved over from guard. Olin Kreutz is now a New Orleans Saint. After a loss of 1, here's a pass for Cutler. Lead to the 23, Matt Spaeth, the other tight end, makes the play. So the Giants will try to force a 3 and out. With this defense, Osi Umenyiora probably out for the opener, but will be back this year with a knee injury. Justin Tuck, Jason Pierre-Paul on the ends. Matthias Kiwanuka is back after missing most of last year with a knee injury. In the secondary, a lot of familiar faces, a lot of guys returning. Thomas and Corey Webster, but together now 3 years. Darn good pair of corners. Joined by the nickel man, Aaron Ross, for third down. It'll be 3rd and 10. Ron Winter, our referee tonight.
False start. Offense number 73. 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
Well, those of you who are with us on Monday Night Countdown, we pointed out both left tackles would be under the gun tonight. They both have a false start on 3rd down.
Well, Matthias Kiwanuka, he's a joker on defense. He lines up all over the place, and Perry Fuel likes to cause confusion on 3rd down situations. That time, very successful.
Four receivers, and Cutler with time. The completion of Roy Williams for the first down at the 32-yard line.
That play may be challenged.
Well, Jay Cutler, John, did a tremendous job in the pocket. You'll see he's got to wait for this play to develop downfield on 3rd and 10. You see the good mechanics that we talked about earlier. He hung in the pocket, delivered the football, and drove that shoulder right through. Good delivery.
And, John, it is challenged as Williams juggled it. Did he catch it before it hit the ground? Giants secondary was encouraging Tom Coughlin to challenge. He threw the flag. We'll take a closer look during the break. By the Giants, looks like Tom Coughlin will win this challenge. It'll be 4th down. Aaron Ross bangs at it. Roy Williams held on. Then it hit the ground. This looks a little clearer.
Well, there's no question that hit the ground, Mike. But Roy Williams has to make that catch. He was brought in here because he's 6'3", 250 pounds, a guy that's going to go over the middle and make those catches. You have to make them when you know you're going to get hit. You got to make them to move the chains and give your offense more snaps. That's disappointing from a Bears perspective, that drop by Roy Williams.
I think all the fans know the deal with Roy Williams, who was drafted by the Lions, 7th overall pick. 4 years there, including the time with Martz, but then was traded to Dallas, and Cowboys gave up a lot, including a 1st-round pick for Williams, who had 36, 38, and 37 catches in his 3 years with Dallas.
And I think the big question is, can Roy Williams be a star? He's brought in here to start at split end. That's the go-to position in Mike Martz's pass offense. They brought in his college coach to coach him from the University of Texas.
After review, the receiver did not control the ball throughout the process of completing the catch. Therefore, it is an incomplete pass. Makes it 4th down. Please reset the game clock to 10:48.
You got to make plays, and This is a thing that plagued the Bears over the last 2 years. Nobody is 3 and out more than the Chicago Bears offense. That's the kind of play that jump starts you early on the road in football games.
Yeah, the offensive line, John, did a nice job of giving Cutler to take that deep drop. He had a nice cushion to throw from. Now you got to bring the punting team out because your wide receiver can't come up with a play.
Good, legitimate battle for the punting job. Bears let Brad Maynard go. Adam Podlish from Jacksonville is the incumbent. There's a rookie who's pushing him. You see Spencer Lanning later tonight. Very returnable 45-yarder. Jarrell Jernigan from the 38. Only returned it about 4 yards. Ran right into the waiting arms of Eddie Williams. The Giants will take over the 42. You guys mentioned Eli Manning. All those turnovers, 30 of them last year. Now you go through the interceptions, Jaws. Not all his fault, but enough work.
No, I actually had him at 18 were his fault. You know, there you see the wide receiver breaking the route. This is just, you can't make this kind of throw, and Eli knows that. But of those 25 picks, when I went through the entire interception reel, only 18 would I put on Eli Manning. They've had batted balls, tipped balls, and those sorts of things. So, you know, shows up as 25 picks, but they weren't all his. He needs a little help from his friends.
Giants taking over at their own 41-yard line. Bradshaw the back. Peppers off the edge, is kept out of there, and Manning throws complete to Manningham. Gain of about 7.
So, you know, Tom Coughlin's philosophy is to not turn the ball over. A couple of years ago, they broke an NFL record for the fewest amount of turnovers. I think Eli's problem, listening with Tom Coughlin yesterday, was he just doesn't give up on plays. He has so much confidence that he can fit it in a tight window and has so much pride holding on to the ball, throwing it away to, you know, get rid of it before a sack. He needs to correct that.
He's checking here at the line. This is what Eli's very good at.
2nd and 3, play action. Peppers flipped to the other side, forced it out early, and Manningham could not catch it. So he worked on Kareem McKenzie, the right tackle, and Peppers was bearing down on the QB.
Well, there's Julius Peppers, isolated, pass rush, gets on the edge, gets a shot late on Eli, but Eli's ability to throw the ball falling away on the money. How many guys make that throw?
That is anticipation, and that was about as well as you can do it. But again, Manningham's got to come up with the catch.
3rd and 3 from Manning. They swing it toward Bradshaw, incomplete. Now the guys, Giant fans and Tom Coughlin did not like the preseason opener against Carolina. 0 for 5 on 3rd down. First offense wasn't crisp. And here they're 3 and out the first 2 series.
And they got in a nice manageable situation on 3rd and 4. They tried to get the ball out on the perimeter to Bradshaw, give him some room to make a play. And that was an inaccurate throw from Eli Manning, so they have to punt again.
Steve Weatherford kicked in this stadium last year with the Jets. This year battling Matt Dodge for the job with the Giants. Strength of Weatherford, pin the other guys inside the 20. Johnny Knox at the 10. Just a couple yards on the return. Spencer Pasinger and Brian Witherspoon on the stop. Pressure of Peppers felt first 2 drives for the Bears. Electronic media, social media, bar room, on the couch conversation. Cutler injured in the first half, checked by the doctors at halftime, comes out 1 drive in the second half, can't go. People were questioning why wasn't he working with Caleb Haney and Todd Collins. He was just standing there looking forlorn and disappointed. A lot of conversation about it, and certainly Jay Cutler has had to deal with that in the offseason and try to come out the other side. Forte with the game for a couple of yards. Guys, your thoughts as we remove 7 months from that happening?
Well, you know, I've got a problem. Everyone talks about this body language. They used to say the same thing about Eli Manning. He won a Super Bowl and was the MVP, and all of a sudden his body language got real good. Unless you're around a player every single day at practice and in games, how can you read into what his body language is? This guy's been pummeled for a couple of years in Chicago. If they protect him, maybe his body language won't look so bad.
Throwing it twice here tonight. So be a draw out of Forte. Gains about 3 yards as Justin Tuck got in there and made the tackle.
And I was in an AFC championship game with the Raiders, and we lost our starting quarterback, Rich Gannon, early in the game, just like the Bears lost Cutler. You should have seen my body language. And Rich Gannon wasn't happy either. You go that far and play that well as a team and get hurt in a championship game, you're not going to have good body language. But people have questioned Cutler's, is he too stubborn? Is he a little arrogant? What's his body language like? Don't question this kid's toughness. I've seen this guy get up from a lot of train wrecks back there.
Or his talent.
3rd and 4. Cutler reloads for Roy Williams. Incomplete. No flag. Aaron Ross the coverage. Another 3 and out.
Big thing Mike Martz told us yesterday, the reason Roy Williams is here is he's a big guy and he can handle bump and run coverage. That time, Ross, you'll see it on the left side of your screen, gets up into bump and run coverage, inside technique, does a great job shutting the slant down. That's where Roy Williams has to dominate for the Chicago Bears against tight press coverage. He gives their receiving core size and strength. That's why he's here.
First time in the NFL. Didn't punt last week. Spencer Lang, rookie out of South Carolina. Effusive praise for this kid from everybody I talked to around the Bears this week. Terrell Jernigan returned from the 36, and it's well covered by Corey Graham. And a loss of a yard. So those of you who wanted to tune in to see the punting battle, you've seen all 4 punters so far in 4 drives.
Great.
This ESPN NFL preseason special is brought to you by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Here we go. And Garnier Fructis Anti-Dandruff Shampoo. Flake-free for 48 hours, or it's free. Guaranteed.
Not too far from here in Edison, New Jersey. It's Harold's Deli. That's number 14, the triple-decker. Pastrami, turkey, and corned beef, John.
That's what Jaworski eats.
I knew that was coming.
Those are 2 of his buddies right there. That's a $60 sandwich. Jaworski ate that whole thing for lunch.
I know, I got something right over
leftovers.
They call
Where
it
do you put all that food?
They call it number 14. I know you petitioned to have them call it number 7 at the
7
deli
and 8.
in Jaw's honor.
I knew that was coming.
Brandon Jacobs, a first down run. Gain of 7. Matt Towina chasing him down. So, guys, Ahmad Bradshaw had 276 carries last year, and Jacobs way down 147. Do you think it'll balance out this year?
Everybody's talking that way right now. We need more equitable carries, distribution of carries, they tell me. That's easy to say in the preseason, but in the regular season, you go with the hot hand. I tried those 2 halfback systems my whole career. A lot of times I get in the car and realize, man, I forgot to give the ball to Charlie Garner today. It's hard to do, but I know the Giants are going to try to balance the carries better this year. They've got 2 great backs.
And they got a big old heavy formation there now. They want to pound it in there.
6 offensive linemen. Jacobs runs behind them, gets close to the first down right at the 45-yard line.
The big issue with Brandon Jacobs in the game is the fullback. Who's the lead dog in this 2-back set? Earlier in the game, Bear Pasco, watch him in the hole. Him and Urlacher. You got to square up these linebackers. You got to attack them on their side of the line of scrimmage. When I think New York Giant football, Tom Coughlin, I think 2 backs. I think Hedgecock, Greg Camel. I go back to Maurice Carthon. Who's going to step up and lead Brandon Jacobs and Ahmad Bradshaw in these 2-back sets? Here's Pasco again.
Now a 3rd very short.
Run to the perimeter. Pasco tried to get the block. Did. Jacobs the sideline. And the first down.
That's a bad alignment by the Chicago Bears. They got outflanked. The big wing set over here on the left side. And watch Bear Pasco, number 86. I think he got away with a hold right there.
Sure.
But when you get the corner for Brandon Jacobs and you let him go at full speed, I pity the fool who has to tackle that guy.
Yeah, but the Bears were in a man coverage, and that tight end came backside. The corner ran with him and vacated that area, created a big void.
Eli, first down throw to Chal for Akeem Nicks, and that means it's really high. Incomplete.
Chicago Bears do a great job on defense playing cat and mouse with their 2 safeties. They line up in a split safety look. They show the quarterback that double zone look. Then right before the snap, they rotate into 3 deep. Sometimes they show you 3 deep and rotate back into 2 deep. That time you saw Eli Manning was fooled. He was out of rhythm and missed the throw he normally hits.
Very successful first year for Rod Marinelli as the Bears defensive coordinator. Peppers waiting on the play action. Manning gets to the other side and ruled incomplete as Manningham tried to stay in bounds.
Well, Julius Peppers once again immediately in the face of Eli Manning and rattled him really quick and had to move around, try to buy a little time. You'll see Peppers right here. He's just going to throw Bear Pascal away like a little rag doll and get in Eli's face, and he has to just get rid of the ball quickly. But that's not a real good matchup for the New York Giants when you got Bear Pascal trying to block Julius Peppers. Pascal's going to have a difficult time with that matchup.
Well, that's important because that's Victor Cruz, the guy trying to win the third receiver spot. Eli had to wave him over. Bradshaw is met by Tim Jennings, and it'll be 4th down.
This Jennings is an interesting guy. They've got DJ Moore, number 30. Jennings, the left corner, has got to be 5'8", number 26. Now, when you see the back come out into the flat, watch Jennings get off of his rotation, plant and drive, and stone the back short of the first down. Jennings is not a big guy, but he is an outstanding zone defender. He fits this Lovie Smith scheme perfectly. You got to be able to tackle.
Here's the 32. Giants will go for it on 4th and 4. Manningham, Cruz, and Travis Beckham to the top again. Manningham to tell Cruz to get in motion on a wheel route. Cruz goes up and makes the catch at the 10-yard line. A gain of 22.
Yeah, well, they get Cruz in an isolation route on the outside. You'll see him go right up the sideline. This is the matchup they wanted to get, and Cruz gets right up the sideline. What a terrific throw from Eli Manning just over the top of DJ Moore. Move the chains for the New York Giants. You get that one-on-one route. That's what, and in a man coverage scheme on 3rd, 4th, and short, you're going to get opportunities like that.
Giants can't get a first down just inside the 1. Manning's pass incomplete, intended for Akeem Nicks.
I go back to the reception by Cruz. Great catch. But one of the concerns with the Bears in their secondary, when they do play man-to-man, they have a disadvantage with size. That time, the 5'9" DJ Moore, clearly the size matchup showed in favor of the Giants. You have to be very selective calling man-to-man coverage with Jennings and Moore, just because of the size stature of these two young defenders.
Second down run, Jacobs. Urlacher got a hand on him. Jennings brings him down with a gain of 3. Victor Cruz caught the ball, get him down there, and that time the defense starts to try to stop him.
Boy, the Bears do a great job with line stunts. You're going to see the pirate stunt. They bring these 2 defensive linemen flat down the line. It allows Urlacher to scrape over the top. Man, I'd pay to see Urlacher and Brandon Jacobs in a tackling drill. But they do a great job in Chicago keeping Urlacher free with some of these defensive line stunts. When you keep that guy free, he delivers.
Giants do not go 3 wide. They go 2 tight ends here. Bradshaw in the back. And Manning's throw is broken up from Manningham at the goal line by Brian Ewu. He's getting the start tonight for Lance Briggs, who's out with a knee injury.
Ewu does a terrific job of looking back in the backfield, locating Eli Manning. Reads his eyes. You'll see Ewu number 52, just in his zone coverage right there. Peering back in the backfield, drives the football, and knocks it out of the hand of Mario Manningham. That's what the linebackers, the Bears, do so well. In their zone drops, they locate the quarterback's eyes and feel those receivers where they're going.
Reese Lloyd is kicking tonight. Lawrence Tynes, the regular Giants kicker, injured last week. So Lloyd, who has not kicked a regular season field goal in the NFL, he's been a kickoff specialist during his time in the league before. Knocked that one through for the game's first 3 points. Second preseason game to the Giants' first-team offense. Best drive of this early season. Getting a field goal to lead it 3-0. They went 58 yards down the field. Figured to see the starters about 25 plays or so, so it could be a half of starters, certainly on the Bears side. You see that offensive line, which has been talked about a lot for Chicago, on into the start of the 3rd quarter.
Dave Taub, the special teams coach of the Bears, said they're bringing everything out.
And Johnny Knox from 6 yards deep. Trying to work around Victor Cruz, who brings him down at the 14-yard line. So for the third time, the Bears will start from inside their own 20. One of the nights I look forward to more than anything else, driving on a bus with you guys 4 hours after the game to Baltimore.
And we'll review the tapes of this game on the way down.
You get to see the Ravens tomorrow and the Redskins and Ravens here on Thursday night. Jay Cutler, third drive, takes a shot downfield. There's Devin Hester right near midfield for a first down.
Well, this is what Jay Cutler can bring to the party. Set, avoid the pressure, reset, and rifle the ball about 50 yards down the field. Here you'll see him come in with a 5-step drop, looking down the middle. Little shoulder roll, manipulate the secondary. He gets Kenny Phillips moving inside. Now he's got Hester singled up down the sideline against Corey Webster. And that throw was a frozen rope about 50 yards down the field. That's the athletic, talented arm strength of Cutler.
There's first down of the night. Cutler sets up the screen to Forte. Very effective pass receiver. Beautiful move by Forte. And a nice block by Hester to send Forte inside the 10. First and goal, Chicago. Gains of 37 and 42.
Oh, just great open field running by Forte. Good call on the screen, but keep an eye on Justin Tuck. The effort that he makes to run Forte down inside the 10-yard line. Good phasing on the screen. He starts down the numbers. He cuts it back, and out of nowhere, you're going to see Justin Tuck track this play.
Yeah.
Great effort.
Hester, after the 37-yard gain, got the initial block. Roy Williams downfield blocking as well. Signs of life from the Bears. From the 7, Forte. A couple of yards to the 5. Guys, I mentioned his pass catching ability. 63, 57, 51 catches in his first 3 years.
Well, he's an all-purpose back. He can run it. He can catch it. He can play on any down, and he's comfortable in any formation. I've seen Mike Martz line this guy up as a receiver, and the addition of Marion Barber will give them a 1-2 punch that I think you need in the NFC.
But, John, I think Forte's got to improve his blocking in those nickel situations. That's an area that has to get better for him.
Second and goal. Hester stumbled as he tried to get out in the flat, and the pass incomplete.
Well, that make my body language bad, too. You can see Jay Cutler very disappointed there. This is a slam dunk touchdown for Hester. He just trips. He comes out of motion. They have him outflanked for an easy touchdown. That's what you call a turf monster right there.
Gremlin's got him. Yeah, this is an area that the Bears need to be better at when they get in the regular season. This is good work for them at this point in the preseason. They got to punch it in the end zone here. You can't set it for field goals to get this close.
Williams moved Earl Bennett, who he played with at Vanderbilt, to the other side. First one not open. Cutler keeps it alive for Hester. Defended by Aaron Ross. Field goal attempt for Chicago.
Well, not a good couple plays there for Devin Hester. He stumbles coming out the backfield. Would have been a sure touchdown. And here you'll see him work and work and work against Kenny Phillips. Now he comes back out. I'm sorry that is not Kenny Phillips. You see him drop the ball there. You've got to come up with that play. Working on Aaron Ross.
Outstanding kicker, Robbie Gould. Short stuff for the Penn Stater, 23 yards. With the punters being tried out, new punter here, Brad Maynard gone, new holder for Gould as well, but he bangs it through. All even at 3. Drive led by Jay Cutler and the Bears, and Jaws, we see a little bit of why Jay Cutler has a great fit with Mike Martz in this offense.
Mike, you have to be fundamentally sound to be solid at the quarterback position, and Cutler wanted to work on this, and he did in the offseason. Watch this, right at the top of his drop, weight on his back foot, flex knee, eyes downfield, drive the football, snap the hips, roll the shoulder. Here, again, you see the balance, flex knees, look downfield, reset again, look at the flex knee on balance. Rock solid quarterback mechanics leads to rock solid quarterback play. Mike Martz has refined Cutler's technique. He will be better for that.
There's so much of a demand in the Mike Martz offense. Talking to a few of the Bears players and coaches before the game, they all talked about how intricate, how in-depth, but how everybody had to be working together at all times in this offense. And they feel year 2 is going to bring better stuff for them. Devin Thomas looked good on the first kick return. Looks great on the second. Chased by Gold. Finally knocked down at the 30-yard line.
Well, that's what you have to do to make a football team. The 4th, 5th, and 6th wide receivers have to be core special team contributors. And Devin Thomas, although he has struggled as a wide receiver, he showcases his stuff again as a kick returner. It's well blocked. Right down the alley he goes. Good effort by Jennings running him out of bounds.
But, John, you mentioned Thomas's special teams and the need to be there when he was cut and out on the street. The Giants picked him up last year. Then he blocked a punt against his old team, Washington. So he's shown a little bit of that. Gives him a leg up in that extra receiver battle. And 73-yard kick return there. Brandon Jacobs with Henry Hynoski, a rookie out of Pittsburgh at fullback. And that play gets blown up on the Giants side of the line.
Well, Henry Hynoski says hello to Sunday football. Here's your first opportunity to lead block in the NFL against the Chicago Bears. Watch the lead block off your right side. Boom! Right there on the Giants side of the line of scrimmage. It's a position that the Giants need to really step up at. They've got an outstanding, diverse two-back running game. Hello, Harry.
And Tom Coughlin believes in the power running game. He wants to get that going first, and everything works off of it.
Reverse Manningham. Only 1 yard as he goes over to the sideline, and Chris Harris is there to knock him out. You talked about, John, the changes there with Madison Hedgecock not around. He was banged up. We mentioned Kevin Boss, the tight end. He's with Oakland. There's a lot of change on this Giants offense. Steve Smith is now with Philadelphia. That's why 80 Victor Cruz is coming in the game. 5 different offensive starters from the opener last year are no longer with the Giants. O'Hara and Seibert on the offensive line, Boss the tight end, Steve Smith the third receiver, and the fullback Hedgecock. So that's what the Giants are really looking for in this game. A good test, a good defense, and position battles to be answered. Bradshaw screen. Got a terrific block from his center, David Boss, who's one of those new starters, and a first down for the Giants.
Yeah, David Boss got out in front of that screen, and he just rolled a couple Chicago Bears over. And you need to have athletic linemen to have the screens work. Boss, number 64, you see him snap the ball. Now he's getting outside. Now you see Bradshaw does a good job getting down the lane, setting up the block, and Boss just rolls. Whew, he's a big fella coming out of there, John. He'll knock some people down.
End of the first. Picked up here at the back end of the opening quarter. 3-3, Giants and Bears. Second preseason game for both the Bears and the Giants in the second quarter here in New Jersey. All tied at 3. Mike Tirico, John Gruden, Ron Jaworski, Susie Colbert on the sideline. Bears coming off the victory over Buffalo. Even though their quarterbacks were sacked 9 times, the defense was impressive against the Bills. And we should see that defense for a good part of the second quarter. The first unit led by Julius Peppers. Trying to stop the Giants in the red zone here at the 18. Jacobs, what a move by Jacobs. Barrels to the end zone. Touchdown. And somebody pick up Major Wright's job.
Well, that's a great run by Brandon Jacobs, but give Eli Manning a big assist. He sends Cruz in motion, and he sees that DJ Moore is going to stay over here as a blitzing safety. And Eli says, hey, wait a minute. He audibles to a stretch play to the left, away from the blitz. Great finish by Brandon Jacobs, but when you have a quarterback like Eli Manning that can get that done before the snap of the ball, man, it makes your running game look good.
Reese Lloyd adds the extra point. So Giant fans who were unhappy with the opening drives from the first unit in week 1 and quarter 1 have seen a couple of good ones here tonight. What a move by Brandon Jacobs.
This ESPN NFL preseason special is brought to you by Audi, Truth in Engineering, and HTC. Every innovation we create is inspired by you.
On the Jersey side of the Hudson River, the new Meadowlands Stadium, 18-yard run by Brandon Jacobs, a man who has the opportunity to break Tiki Barber's record this year, most touchdowns rushing by a Giant. He has 49, needs 7 to break it. And boy, he looked like the old Brandon Jacobs on that run, back to his 1,000-yard season back in 07. More returnable kick for Johnny Knox. Ooh, heavy collision there, and Knox taken to the 19-yard line.
You know what I like? Not just Eli Manning being able to recognize things, but watch Eli make the audible. And keep an eye on his center, David Boss, who just got here from the 49ers. He sees Eli audible to the left, and watch Boss's eyes. And he's going to communicate the line calls to his fellow G-men up front, and the execution is perfect. Play side, backside. That's what young offensive linemen, new offensive linemen need to work on in training camp. There's new audibles, there's new communication, and the only way you get better at it is by executing it in a game.
But does David Boss look like an old lineman?
Man. For the 19, Cutler had nothing open. He's on the run, and he's brought down for the first time tonight. Jonathan Goff will be credited with a sack and a loss of 4.
And, Mike, there's a sack that shouldn't be a sack. Those are the things that are going to really tick off Mike Tice, the offensive line coach, and, of course, Mike Martz and Lovie Smith. You get outside the pocket, a play is not there. But there is one play. Throw it away. Do not take the sack. Live to fight another day. Just throw the ball away.
Chester Taylor now in the game for the Bears. Only gained a yard or so. Stop was made by Terrell Thomas. When we talk about changes with Boss on the Giants offensive line, you have the Bears and all their changes. NFC Championship game starters on the left. The projected 2011 starters on the right. Only one guy in the same position, Chris Williams. I mentioned Kreutz is no longer with the team with New Orleans. Garza moves from guard to center this year. Jamarcus Webb moved from right tackle to left tackle. Gabe Karimi, first-round pick, rookie out of Wisconsin, has been impressive to Mike Tice, the offensive line coach. 3rd and 12, 4-man rush. Got to Cutler, and the pass was dropped. Would have been short of the first down anyway. Chris Canty was bringing the heat, and Kellen Davis couldn't bring it in.
Well, you got guys like Chris Canty that can apply pressure up the middle. It makes it hard on a quarterback to step up. Take a look at Canty coming off your right side, number 99. Jay does a nice job eluding pressure, giving his offense a chance. The pressure's coming from everywhere on 3rd and long against the Giants. That sack on first down hurt the Bears.
In the rotating punter battle, Adam Podlish's turn. He's the veteran. Used to be in Jacksonville, now Chicago. 47-yard kick. Jarrell Jernigan also trying to earn a spot with these Giants. Rookie out of Troy, their 3rd-round pick. Takes it just shy of midfield. 34 the net on that kick. Giants ball when you come back. They have the annual battle for the bragging rights against the Jets, although those teams meet on Christmas Eve in the regular season, so takes a little starch out of their preseason gathering. And Manning conducting from the front there and just got rid of that as nobody was open. Incomplete. Set for an update. We'll send it back to the studio.
I'm Chris Berman. A reminder that currently airing live over on ESPN2, the Little League World Series. The home team, Pennsylvania, taking on Louisiana in an elimination game. The loser obviously goes home. The winner gets powerhouse Georgia and rising star Jake Fromm tomorrow night. Mike?
All right, Chris, thank you. Those kids in Pennsylvania have been a great story and great crowds at Lombardi Stadium there in Williamsport. Over 40,000 to watch the local team. Been a fun watch. That'll wrap up over the next week here on ESPN and on ABC with the championship. Bradshaw in the backfield contacted by Brian Ewu. Ewu got the start for Lance Briggs and has done a good job here tonight.
Both these New York Giant running backs off to a great start tonight. Take a look at Ahmad Bradshaw. Catch a screen pass on 3rd and 10. Follow his blockers right down the sideline. Knows where he needs to get. Then they go to the big back, the slammer, Brandon Jacobs. And he fights for yardage, and he sees the crack. He's still a big, elusive man. Thunder and lightning, whatever you want to call these two guys, they're really good.
Now 3rd and long. Manning with time. Good pocket. Good throw. Manningham first down at the 35, gain of 20.
Well, it all starts with protection when you have a 3rd and 14, because it's going to take time for the play to develop deep down the field. You'll see Eli sets up nicely, reads the coverage. I see Beckham clear the middle of the field, and there's the passing lane. But it all starts with time. Eli moves around the pocket, buys a little time, and opens up that void for Mario Manningham.
No Julius Peppers in the game right now. A couple of second-teamers in for the Bears. High toss to Akeem Nicks, who's got it. He's not going to get positive yardage. Be a loss of a yard. Charles Tillman made the tackle. 79 catches for Nicks last year. His first year, really a full-time starter. Now he's got to be the #1 guy here for the Giants.
No question. I really think Akeem Nicks is a future superstar in this league. I've seen him make some outstanding plays. He plays the same position, really, that Plaxico Burress played here. He plays on the weak side. They try to isolate him on the backside of trips formations, just like they are right here. If he gets single coverage, Eli's throwing him the ball. If they play that double zone, he's going to work the trip side.
Run inside to Bradshaw. Got a good block from David Deal pulling, and a first down to the 24-yard line.
Or you can just hand the ball to a great back. And these two guys cheer for each other. They feed off each other, and they give the Giants energy. They're going to get a double team at the point of attack, pull the backside guard, and off goes Ahmad Bradshaw. You can't block that play any better. And if these two running backs get started, it's going to be a long day for you. I'm surprised they are running the ball this well against the Chicago Bears. They're one of the top run defenses in football.
Yeah, Major Wright, the safety who's been known as a new starter, but he's a hitter, and he has been making plays coming out that secondary.
First down throw, Manning. Well, cover that time by Tim Jennings, who's been busy here tonight.
You know what's uncommon about these two running backs the Giants have is they're best friends. I hear Jacobs wanted to take a pay cut so they could re-sign Bradshaw. Heck, when I had two backs, they used to both come in my office. They hated each other and hated me, but these two guys love each other, and they are the energy source of the New York Giants. You've seen Jacobs give those pregame speeches, 275 pounds, and then they go to Bradshaw. What a 1-2 combination.
Bradshaw to the left. We'll gain a couple of yards as J.T. Thomas, rookie 6th-round pick out of West Virginia, getting a chance. Urlacher's been out this entire drive. His night probably done. Julius Peppers has been out this drive. Ditto.
But, Mike, I like what the New York Giants are doing. They're committed to running the football. They're committed to the running game. They were stopped early in the game. They didn't abandon the run. They stayed with it. They need to have the power game going. If it's Bradshaw, Jacobs, this offensive line needs the work.
3 receivers. The slot receiver, a big question mark of this Giant team. 3rd and 8. Bradshaw picked up the blitz. Manning runs. Nicks toe tap. Caught it. Flag down. Ruled inbounds and shy of the first down, but we also have a secondary flag thrown. And before we get to any of the flag and the other stuff, the conversation on the catch on the sideline by Nicks.
Well, Nicks did a tremendous job of understanding where the sideline is. Great awareness by a wide receiver. You see him tiptoeing. Looks like he's in there. But he was out.
Okay, that's it.
Illegal touching of a forward pass. The receiver stepped out of bounds, reestablished inbounds, and caught the pass. The ruling on the field is a completed pass. If the penalty is accepted, there will be a 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 3rd down.
The explanation was confusing.
You know, Ron Winter's a great official. He never liked me, but he does a heck of a job. I don't quite get that one there, though.
He's a great official. It's good to hear you say. He comes back, reestablishes, but is the first one to touch.
3rd and 12, that's all I know.
Well, therefore you have the 5-yard penalty. As Jaws said, once he stepped out of bounds, comes back and catches it, he's the first to touch. It's a penalty.
Right. Thanks for explaining that, Mike.
The explanation cleanup. Call was right. 3rd and 13. Eli caught a low snap. It was complete to Manningham. Tries to make the move around DJ Moore, who gets him out 4 yards shy of the first down. It'll be a 36-yard field goal.
You know, for years, excuse me, Mike, the Giants live in this trips formation. And if it's too deep, they love to throw the ball to Steve Smith. Now, he's gone in Philadelphia. And as soon as you see those 2 deep safeties back there, for years, they threw those option routes in there to Steve Smith. That time, Victor Cruz, his replacement, a little indecisive, but Eli finds a completion, sets up a field goal. New York Giants, 2 deep, they throw it to that trip side. If they get single safety, I bet you they're throwing it to Nix on the other side.
37 yards. Lloyd knocks it through. Tom Coughlin says it's not a competition. Tynes is hurt. He's not kicking this week. They had to bring in Lloyd. Still wants Tynes to be the guy. The opportunity for Lloyd to impress some folks. Giants offense hitting a little rhythm, 13-3. They had to go for a field goal there. Josh, you were talking about that 3rd receiver spot. Victor Cruz, the guy in the crosshair.
It's critical. Kevin Gilbride, the offensive coordinator, knows that Cruz did not adjust his route on the move. The quarterback's got to have that familiarity, that comfort that the receiver's going to run the route the right way against the coverage. Cruz did not. You see the result right there. He had to meet Mr. Gilbride on the sideline, who was not a happy camper. The Giants must shore up that slot position.
Got yelled at, now go cover a kick.
Yeah, thanks.
Lloyd booms it. Knox will bring it out. Cruz is the one met on that block at the 15, and there goes Knox right in that area to the 39-yard line. Chicago Bears, perhaps more than any team, impacted by the new rules with the kickoff being pushed up 5 to the 35.
Well, you just say the name Devin Hester and everyone gets scared because, you know, when this guy gets the ball in his hands, he's not only going to put points on the board, he's going to bring it out and give your offense good field position. Clearly the rule of moving that ball up to the 35-yard line is going to eliminate opportunities for Hester.
Thus more of an impact, they hope, as a wide receiver. Chester Taylor to carry for 3 yards. It's not just Hester either. Now, Dave Tope, their special teams coach, has been outstanding. Hester hasn't been the main kickoff guy all the time, and they've been really good.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. Johnny Knox has been to the Pro Bowl in 2009. Between those 2 guys, Johnny Knox and Devin Hester, it's been misery on opposing teams trying to cover kicks against these Chicago Bears. Daniel Manning, we know he left and went to the Houston Texans, but this rule really penalizes Chicago.
Marion Barber is in the game. And has split backs. He's got the screen. With Lance Lewis, one of the guards, and the other one, Chris Williams, out there leading. First down for the former Dallas Cowboy, now in his 7th year in the league. Signed a 2-year, $5 million deal to come to Chicago.
And he brings a nasty attitude along with that 2-year contract. He will be terrific in the short yardage and goal line situations for the Bears. He is a tough runner. He's a physical runner. He will get you those hard yards that are necessary in those difficult situations.
He's out. Chester Taylor, who might be fighting for a job here in Chicago in the game. Cutler's shot through the middle is deflected. Jonathan Goff dropping deep for that middle linebacker spot with the play.
Well, Gabe Karimi is the rookie right tackle right now, and he's up against Justin Tuck. Now, Karimi's a first-round pick, and he does a nice job with his set. He fights off Justin Tuck and gives Cutler a nice lane to throw the football to. That's a good matchup to watch tonight. A rookie against a wily old veteran. So far, Karimi's been holding his own. And he's a terrific run blocker as well. That's really his strength.
He rocked there in his stance a little bit. We give you a little love, Gabe. Now they're going to call your number.
False start. Offense number 72.
Well, speaking of Gabe Karimi, Outland Trophy winner at Wisconsin. Played left tackle for the Badgers. Now playing right tackle, obviously, for the Bears. But a very good run blocker. He could pull, get out on the edge. Great game day competitor. And played in a winning program at a place that plays physical football. Gabe Karimi, Mike, will Kareem ye. You like that?
Yeah, and Mike Tice was telling us, Mike, he said he could have been a good left tackle. He'll be a great right tackle.
Preseason,
By the
John.
way, good job.
Play action, Cutler takes a long time, but open downfield. It's a guy he knows very well, Earl Bennett. The all-time leader in receptions during his SEC days, and some of them came from Cutler where they were together for a year.
Well, I got to give the Chicago Bear offensive line credit here. This is a four-man rush, and Jay Cutler fakes a draw. He sets up, he hitches twice, and has plenty of time to finish a throw. That's good football by this Bear offensive line. Once again, you see Karimi on the right side. You see Webb on the left side. Mike Tice, the offensive line coach, told us we need to generate some confidence in these guys.
So far, so good tonight.
Gain of 33. Chester Taylor, who threw a nice block on that last play as he was in there for pass pro, gains a couple of yards. Tollefson and Kiwanuka bring him down. And I mentioned Taylor, guys. You have Matt Forte. You bring in Marion Barber. Khalil Bell, who we'll see later out of UCLA, had a very good first game with 7 carries, or rather 73 yards. So the question is there a spot for Taylor?
Yeah, there's a spot for Taylor. Taylor's not going to go away quietly. He's not going to give that backup job to Forte to Marion Barber. Here's the Wildcat with Earl Bennett.
And Cutler down at the bottom of the screen in the receiver spot. Bennett hands it inside to Taylor. A flag down as he's down at the 14. John was very happy when he saw the Wildcat.
Oh, my God. He almost jumped out of the booth again because that's going to revolutionize the game. Although Brad Smith ran a few of those against the Bear defense.
Offense number 87. 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
Well, you got to prepare for it. I don't care what you say, Ron. You got to prepare for it.
I know you do, John.
That time, Kellen Davis. That's the tight end that's replacing Greg Olson. And I haven't heard anybody say anything bad about Kellen Davis. He's caught the ball well. He's blocked at the point of attack. Obviously, a penalty is the worst thing that can happen in the red zone. But keep an eye on number 87 in these passing situations.
I thought they were talking about Kellen Winslow. They had so many great things to say about him as we were talking during the week. Greg Olson's the guy who was in that spot. It's a rocket shot as Cutler was getting hit that went over the hands of Bennett and incomplete.
You know, when you've got a guy like Greg Olson, certainly an excellent receiver, but the Bears want to be physical. They want to have an inline blocker, someone that could come down in those double teams. That was not Greg Olson's game. So they made a decision. They're going to go with the Kellen Davis or Matt Spade. They got a young guy in Kyle Adams who they love as well. They want a physical player at the tight end position. And tonight we've been seeing a lot of 2 tight end formations.
Cutler took a shot on that last play. Bears haven't picked up a 3rd down tonight. And the Giants are bringing pressure. The quick hit to Bennett, not going to go anywhere. Tackled at the 24 and a field goal attempt coming.
That's what Perry Fuel does, Ron, the defensive coordinator of the Giants. They get into a no-back set. Watch the communication on defense. There's no backs in the game. Okay, let's blitz Cutler, make him get rid of it on 3rd and long before they can get the first down. Perry Fuel empowers the New York Giants to make calls on defense. That time it paid off.
John, I like the fact that Cutler took what the defense gave him. They came with the pressure. The ball had to come out. Rather than take a sack, it was a real short game, but it set up a shorter field goal.
Goals from 42. Corey Webster came close to blocking it. Gold knocks it through. A couple of field goals for the Bears. 7-point lead. Big Blue. Bears, entire NFL celebrating USA Football Month. USA Football, the official youth football development partner of the NFL. Youth football programs from around the New York, New Jersey, tri-state area enjoying tonight's game courtesy of the Giants. If you're not familiar with USA Football, there's online training for coaches, officials, age-specific skills. Those lucky kids get to get on the field at the Meadowlands and play at halftime. Have fun, guys.
Oh, yeah.
USAFootball.com is where you can check it out. If you have a youth football player in your family,
guys look fired up.
Yeah, need experience for them.
John, I'm surprised you're not down there. You've been coaching at every camp in America this year.
Love those guys who play.
Yeah, I love it, man. You're right.
Devin Thomas had the long kick return earlier. Going to get a run up on this one at the goal line. Looks good. Nice return by Thomas. Giants special teams returns were poor last year. Thomas took that one out to the 32-yard line. Eli Manning's day is done. So the #1 overall pick from 2 years before Manning, David Carr, comes in. You remember David Carr sacked repeatedly 250 times when he was the Houston Texans quarterback. They went to Carolina for 07. Backed up Eli Manning here with the Giants in 08 and 09. Last year was with San Francisco, threw 55 passes in this last 3-year stretch. Very little work last year. Now he's trying to win the backup job with the Giants, battling Sage Rosenfels. As the DJ Ware, who has no game. And Rosenfels not playing tonight. He has strep throat and has missed a good part of practice this week.
Yeah, well, David Carr, you see right here, another opportunity to get on a roster of a National Football League team. It didn't work out for him in San Francisco last season. In fact, some of the comments he made were pretty inflammatory about his short tenure with the San Francisco 49ers. But he can still throw the football. He's still got that quirky little motion, but he can sling it when he gets time.
The guy who starts 79 games in the NFL. And there's that short shot for Victor Cruz, who took a hit in the ribs from Craig Steltz. He's had a very impressive camp at that safety spot, backing up Chris Harris at the moment.
You know, Mike, we've all watched quarterbacks for a long time, and you see guys that get beat up early in their career. They really do struggle as they move on. They just, the confidence isn't there. The ability to hang in the pocket isn't there. And David Carr, in those formative years with the Houston Texans, I mean, he just got pounded into oblivion. And he's had a tough time coming back from it.
And Vernon Golston, the former Jets first-round pick in the game for the Bears. DJ Ware on the screen, on the run, right at the first down mark, but it looks to be a bit shot. As Henry Melton, still on the field, got down and chased him down. So with 3 and out, Vernon Golston and Amobi Okoye. A couple of first-round picks, number 6 and number 10 overall picks in the draft. On the field, that Bears second defensive line, and we'll see them on the next couple of series. Those two guys, David Carr, 3 former top 10 picks, trying to find their way back to a steady role in the league. Matt Dodge gets his turn to kick. 44 yards right in the middle of the field. Earl Bennett has the sideline, and he's out of bounds at 21. Spencer Pasinger, linebacker at Oregon, was over there to help knock him out.
There's another guy that can return the football. And Earl Bennett does a lot of things well for the Chicago Bears. That time, they have him dead in the water. I don't know how he got out of trouble, but this guy is an outstanding Chicago Bear.
And he's tough, John. He got that sideline. He didn't tiptoe, out of bounds. He lowered the shoulder, and he was going to get a couple more yards. You got to love and respect the guy that plays the game with that physical approach, especially at the wide receiver position. But when you return punts, you're going to take some shots.
The drive here for Jay Cutler. Bears going a bit longer with their starting offensive unit than the Giants did. Giants have run 31 plays, the Bears 21. They want to get another series with this group. Screen set up for Taylor. And he gets to the 29-yard line. Rocky Bernard out there to tackle.
Rocky Bernard with one of those effort plays that John loves to talk about. If Rocky Bernard doesn't peel back and make that tackle, there was a lot of green grass and blue sky heading down that sideline. Bernard with one of those effort plays saved a big play.
Marion Barber run up the middle. Pasinger chases him after he picked up the first down at the 38-yard line with 2.5 to go in the half.
One of the strengths of this Giant defense is going to be the play of their 2 safeties, 2 ex-Miami Hurricanes. We all know Antrell Roll made the Pro Bowl last year. I'm anxious to see Kenny Phillips. He's fully recovered. He knows his defense. Kenny Phillips is special, and if they can get him to play down around the line of scrimmage more this year, they're going to help their run defense.
Season limited last year, coming off a knee injury. Devin Hester trying to catch the ball, and the Giants able to catch him with Bernard making the first contact. Giants saying they took the ball away with Terrell Thomas. But it's Bears ball, and it's 2-minute warning here. Loss of yardage there will set up 2nd and long. Inside the 2-minute warning, Jaws, a whole half of Jay Cutler. What have you seen?
Yeah, I think he's been very proficient that first half. And, you know, Mike Martz's offense is about downfield throws. And you better have a quarterback that can execute those throws deep down the field. And you got to be able to buy time in the pocket, manipulate people in the secondary. And in this first half, Jay Cutler has done this nicely. As you see these throws, these aren't dink and dunk passing throws. These are balls that are going down the field, attacking the third level of the defense. Explosive plays. Now all of a sudden you attack down the field. Now the short area opens, the intermediate area opens, and then you have that little sustaining offense going down the field. But with Mike Martz, it's about attacking down the field first. Cutler has a great skill set to do that.
3 catches of over 30 yards, and that was the exciting part of that Martz offense in St. Louis, the vertical passing game. With all the speed of guys up front now, it's hard to get that time, and the Bears' ever-changing offensive line. So in Denver in 08, he was rarely sacked, lowest rate in the NFL. Then comes to Chicago, it was bad. Last year it was worse. 1 sack every 9.3 dropbacks, the worst ratio in the NFL. But it's been clean tonight, and that was a big story coming in Chicago. Hit by Jason Pierre-Paul as he threw. Bennett never had complete control of the ball, so it's just an incomplete pass.
Well, Jason Pierre-Paul comes off the ball, makes his presence felt here in the 2-minute drill. He and Jamarcus Webb, good get off by Pierre-Paul. He edges him to the outside, good hand usage. Watch these long arms. Jason Pierre-Paul has he could shake hands with me from down on the 43-yard line. He has the longest arms of any defensive end I've ever seen.
Bears trying to pick up their first down on 3rd down tonight. Cutler's rocket arm goes complete. Hester hasn't been touched yet. He can get up, but he didn't in time. Ross touches him down, shy of the 1st down. See if the Giants want to take a timeout and preserve clock with 1:34 to go.
You want to measure a quarterback's arm strength. Ask him to throw a 20-yard comeback from the far hash. Cutler could make that throw with ease. Once again, nice protection by the Bears offensive line, but they're going to be a couple yards short of moving the chains. Be 4th and 2.
You really like this offense tonight, don't you?
Yeah, they're attacking. I love that, John. Got to go down the field. Big plays, explosive plays, and points will come out of the passing game.
You talk about awareness for Hester at the wide receiver spot. That's a play where he's got to know he hasn't been touched. He can get up and get a 1st down there. He did not. A block. The rookie punter Lanning was blocked. He can still pick up and run, and Greg Jones takes it. Picked up finally by Williams in for the touchdown. They're going to rule him down at the 5. They'll say contact was made to bring him down at the 5, but the young Giants getting in there to block the punt of the rookie Jennings.
Well, that's a good way for your 6th-round draft choice to introduce himself. He comes right off the right side. I don't think anybody touched Greg Jones. He's going to come right off the right side of the Bears punt protection. There's obviously a mistake. And when you make a mistake, please don't make it in the A or the B gap right there, right between the center and the guard. Dom Asico, the young linebacker from Pitt, obviously didn't get the call or didn't execute his footwork properly, but that is an impact play.
Well, it's in the last 2 minutes, so if they need to look at that, they would trigger it upstairs via replay. As Jones got to the ball, did not look like he was contacted and down as the ball squirted free. And the other 6th-round pick, Jaquan Williams, out of South Florida, picked the ball up. In the last 2, the only man who can pick it up and recover, and Ron Winter's going to talk to Tom Coughlin about that. Pick it up and recover it.
Boy.
The man who touched it there, so that's Jones.
Get the crowd into the game, Ron. Everybody's excited. We always have to stop it to...
There'll be no review there on the play. As Jones gets it, it's a blocked punt, but he is deemed to have control of the ball, so he becomes a runner. Thus, if he fumbles in the last 2 minutes, which he did, he's the only guy who can pick it up and advance it. He did not, so it comes back to that spot at the 6.
The coaches should know the rules, John.
And a run for Andre Brown, who only gains a yard. Brown, an interesting story for the Giants, who take a timeout here. Brown came out of North Carolina State, 4th-round draft pick of this team, and then tore his Achilles in training camp his rookie year. He bounced around to Denver and Cleveland, Indianapolis, Carolina, Washington. He was on the transaction wire 15 times. And he finally worked his way back here. And Tom Coughlin said the guy tore his Achilles in 09, and he's faster in 2011 than he was then.
You know, that says a lot about a guy. I mean, you know, you have to be mentally tough to be a pro football player. A lot of people said you're not good enough. You're coming off an injury. You got to rehab it. You come in here, you're backing up 2 superstar backs. I like guys that stick to it. I give that kid a lot of credit.
40 seconds remaining. As Carr adjusts the play and throws the fade to the corner. Brought in for the touchdown with Michael Clayton.
I know that guy, Michael Clayton.
Yes, you do.
That's an excellent catch by Michael Clayton, but David Carr did a nice job with the audible. He sees a single safety, a one-on-one opportunity. He just throws a high point fade. And that's Dominic Hickson over there, isn't it?
Yes,
That's Dominic Hickson.
Yes,
You guys got me all excited about my ex-Buccaneer. And Dominic Hickson's another guy that's coming off an injury that can really impact the Giants. Great job getting up at its highest point, beating Corey Graham to the back pylon. Fine throw by David Carr and a good audible.
Hickson tore his ACL last year and is trying to come back. And this play is being reviewed because the touchdown was not able to be confirmed immediately at the first look in the end zone.
I'll tell you, I can't, you know.
I'm with you.
Look at these fans.
What's going on?
I mean, you think this is good for football?
No.
I just think fans want to come to the game, root for their home team, get excited. They're scoring plays. They want to boo. They want to cheer, but they don't want to be interrupted. Now, if you're going to have free things up at the concession stand during these time stoppages, maybe that's another thing. But the momentum of the game, the strategy, and really just being a fan, I think suffers when you're replaying all these scoring plays.
Well,
I went to the Jets-Bengals game last night.
I know. I was sitting next to you.
I'm crazy. I sat out in the rain, and I saw 2 of those, and everybody's booing. It's not good for football. Rain delays are bad for baseball. Power outages are bad for everybody. This is not a good thing, Mike.
That is crystal clear that this is a catch. Both feet are down. He's in the end zone. And yet, here we are. Ron Winters under the hood. We got the officials up in the box. Got all these people sitting in the stands going, what is going on? They're all looking around. You know, make a call. Let's move.
Well, let's remind everyone, it's a new rule this year in the NFL. Every score gets reviewed, and it has to be confirmed. And if it cannot be confirmed immediately, the replay booth stops it and tells the referee, in this case Winter, to come over and look and make sure it's a score. All scoring plays.
After review, with the ball in his possession, the receiver got 2 feet down inbounds and maintained control of the ball throughout the process of completing the catch. Therefore, it is a touchdown.
And it's 19-6. So the referee is the pager. As we've told you, the first 2 preseason games, review are confirmed, but we've watched this now for a couple of weeks, and it does bring things to a snail's pace.
Yes, it does, and it gives Jaworski plenty of time to go get one of those double pastrami sandwiches.
And it gives you more time to say that. So for the guy that has a ham sandwich about every 20 minutes. But it does. We're going to end up with 3.5, 4-hour games.
No, we're not. It's going to add, that's silly. It's going to add 3 minutes at most.
No,
4 minutes to the game.
We'll talk about this late in the season, Mike.
How long did that? It added a minute. I understand it's a slowdown of the game, but it's not going to add 30 minutes to the time of the game. The average time of the game is 3:05. It's only on the scores that they can't confirm right away.
I'll wait till the end of the year. We'll talk. We'll talk
for that, Mike.
We'll have.
Wait, hang on. I didn't say that.
Yeah,
I didn't say I don't
say you
disagree
weren't
with
either.
you.
Yeah.
I didn't say I don't.
Well, don't sit on the fence. What do you think of that?
The rule as a whole.
Yeah.
I think it's a good idea. However, I think on a call like that, we were here last night, saw Plexico Burress catch a touchdown. Ones that look pretty obvious and pretty clear, the pace should be a little bit quicker to confirm it.
I got 2 challenges as a coach. If I want to challenge that play, I'll challenge it. If it's inside of 2 minutes, the referees are going to look at it anyway.
Right.
But every goal line play, every first and goal on the
different.
one, like we saw earlier in the preseason and last night, I stood there for 11 years and called plays
Right.
inside the 3-yard line. And I used to ask every time, did he get in? Did he get in? And none of my coaches up in the box knew if he was in. We would wait for everybody to search it out.
Right.
It's driving me crazy. It's driving me out of my mind.
No,
I don't
no,
like
really.
it. Sorry. I'm not going to say anything more about it. I do not like it.
Till the next half.
I understand that. Just telling you, it's not going to add a half hour to the game. It's not going to be 4 hours.
We'll see. Can add some time, Mike.
Return by Khalil Bell, who brings it out for the Bears, the 23-yard line. What's going on with Peyton Manning? He's already said pretty much he will not play at all this preseason. Will he play the regular season? The Raiders take Terrell Pryor in the supplemental draft, and a contract update regarding Michael Vick. So Manning, Pryor, Vick. Quarterbacks in the news. We'll have it on the Toyota Halftime Show with Chris Berman, Mike Ditka, and Chris Mortensen in the studio. We're sitting around waiting to find out today where was Pryor going to go, and the Raiders used the 3rd-round pick to take him. Cutler back on the field and chased down as he lobbed the screen to Barber. And a guy who doesn't get enough credit for the impact he makes on the Giants on a regular basis, Dave Tollefson, gets him, and that's not good for the Giants. Terrell Thomas injured on the play.
You know, Perry Fuel and that Giants defense, they will bring pressure. That's a major part of his scheme. And Terrell Thomas comes off the edge right here. You'll see him number 24. He's on the blitz. Putting pressure on Cutler. Gets leg whipped by Jason Pierre-Paul.
They can't afford to lose Terrell Thomas. Already first-round draft choice corner Prince Amukamara is out. Bruce Johnson, a corner, out for the year with a ruptured Achilles. And Terrell Thomas, they call him T2. He led the New York Giants in tackles last year with over 100. You saw right there, Perry Fuel loves to bring him as a blitzer. Let's hope he's okay, Mike.
Yeah, the Giants love to bring those 3rd-level players, those safeties and corners. It's a major part of their scheme and what they like to do. And, you know, if you look at numbers throughout last season, only the Jets brought more 3rd-level defenders. So Perry Fuel, although he's that base, you know, 4-3 cover 2 scheme, he will adjust his scheme to what you do offensively. You like to spread it out, he's going to bring pressure.
You see Tom Coughlin, the head coach out there, and the concern of all the Giants is Thomas is being looked at by the medical staff. Big scare for this Giants team.
Huge.
John mentioned it, a corner with 86 solo tackles credited for. That's a huge number for a corner.
You'll see a number 24 coming right in there. And boy, he gets leg whipped right across his knee by Jason Pierre-Paul. And lucky that he's able to walk off this field and look all right.
Well, we'll see. We've seen guys walk off, and once they get in for MRI and further exam, it's not okay. We'll have to wait and see as he took the misstep with the right hand there. Thomas.
Yeah, he's a
clearly
very underrated player, Mike. And they can ill afford to lose him.
2nd-round pick by the Giants back in 08. 22 seconds. Giants, for what it's worth, lose a timeout because they had an injured player in the last 2 minutes. Cutler's shot at the middle is caught by Bennett, is immediately brought down by Kenny Phillips, the safety. 15 seconds left and flag down, back by Cutler.
Late hit the quarterback.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense number 94. 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
Well, watch Matthias Kiwanuka, bottom of the screen, number 94, spin move back to the inside. He's going to hit Cutler up around the neck. Can't do that.
That ball was clearly out of his hand. The proper call.
Has to be a forcible blow to the head this year. They try to define that and clear it up a little bit. And that was not only a blow to the head, but late. So they add 15 yards to it. And the Bears are at the 44. And Cutler throws complete to an impact guy, Dane Sanzenbacher, who did not go out of bounds. And a timeout taken by the Bears with 7 seconds left Sanzenbacher, a free agent rookie out of Ohio State.
I love the way you said that, Sanzenbacher. You know, Jay Cutler did a great thing right here, Jaws. He's going to see Ross coming off the edge. That's his hot receiver right there, Sanzenbacher. That is what Jay Cutler is showing improvement at. Finding the hot receiver, not taking those sacks and blindside hits. That's excellent football right there by Cutler, showing maturity in this system. We know he can make all the throws, but recognizing that hot receiver, that's really important in Mike Martz's system.
You remember last year, the game he got knocked out of? It was Aaron Ross coming off a very similar blitz. He looked at it, didn't deliver the football, and got a concussion on the play, didn't come out for the second half. It was the same look we just had there. He read it properly, got rid of the football. That's what you want to see out of Jay Cutler.
Just 7 seconds left. Got to be quick. Cutler steps up, throws for Sanzenbacher again. That time it's too high and incomplete. They'll have 1 snap left.
Sanzenbacher, he's an interesting guy out of Ohio State. You know, these free agents that weren't drafted had a long time to really research where they wanted to go play football. The lockout allowed these guys to take a look at every team's receiving situation, whether if you're a linebacker, defensive line. They got to choose the situation that fit them the best, and they like Dane Sanzenbacher here in Chicago. Everybody we talk to thinks he can be a factor in this rotation.
Well, Robbie Gould will try a 55-yard field goal. The end of the half, that's wide right. Long one, no good. Could be returned, but was not caught inbounds. So the half comes to an end. Good half for the Giants, 20-6. We'll see some of the job battles in the second half. We will also speak with Terrell Pryor, the new quarterback, or who knows what position for the Raiders. He'll join us by phone during the second half. Now the Toyota halftime show. Here's Chris Berman in the studio. Third quarter, New Meadowlands Stadium. Second preseason game. Giants 20, Bears 6. Mike Tirico, John Gruden, Ron Jaworski, Susie Colbert. All set for quarter number 3 as these teams will get to look at some backups, some second-team players here. In the first half, the Giants on the field, pretty happy with the result with 20 points.
Yeah, there's no question. I thought Eli Manning looked very sharp throwing the football. Missed a couple early, found his rhythm. But I think if you're Eli Manning, you're most happy about the running game, especially Brandon Jacobs, because the Giants want to run the ball first, then use the play-action passing game. So I think they'll be happy with the running game after that first half.
Bears offensive line, big question coming in. How'd they look in the first half, John?
I thought they did some good things. They had a couple penalties, false starts on their left tackle Webb. Big penalty on Kellen Davis. Outside the penalties, a much improved effort by the Bear offensive line.
Of course, an injury in the first half. The end of the first half, last 20 seconds or so, Terrell Thomas, the Giants' starting cornerback, their leading tackler last year. We'll get a check on that here after the kickoff return. Khalil Bell for the Bears brings it out. Down shy of the 20. Let's go down to Susie Colbert.
Well, Mike, incredibly disappointing news for the New York Giants. You saw starting right cornerback Terrell Thomas go down at the end of the first half. I walked out at halftime with head coach Tom Coughlin, and he said it's the worst possible news. Thomas has indeed torn his ACL. He will be done for the season. And what a shame, especially because coaches said he came back leaner, in better shape, with a chip on his shoulder because they had drafted Prince Amukamara. I mean, just what a shame for the New York Giants and Thomas.
It is, Susie. Amukamara, as mentioned, broke his left foot on August 6th, their second workout. He's not coming back till the middle of October. Just devastating news. Before the Giants, Caleb Haney in a quarterback hands to Marion Barber, gets 5 yards. Let's get to all the football stuff on the field in a second, but that's just a gut shot the Giants take with that news, guys.
Well, I think that's an understatement. He's an outstanding player, great physical football player, and a leader here. He's one of the true pros that you have in this game. I mean, you meet Terrell Thomas, you can't replace his on-the-field performance, and you can't replace what's behind the jersey. That guy's got a lot of heart.
Here's Barber with a run to the right. Talk about Thomas. Only 4 players in the entire NFL who've had 5 or more interceptions in each of the last 2 seasons. And Thomas is one of those guys. And you mentioned John Bruce Johnson, who tore his Achilles 3 weeks ago. So Aaron Ross, who was the first-round pick in 07, who's become the nickel man on this Giants starting defensive unit, or the big-time players. He's going to become the #1 corner here in all likelihood. So Haney in the game for the Bears. It's 3rd and 2. As Caleb swings it out to Barber, who gets a first down as he gave a stiff arm to Spencer Pasinger at the 35-yard line. Caleb Haney, the backup quarterback for the Bears, came in after Todd Collins was ineffective in the NFC Championship game. And a guy who had very little experience almost brought the Bears back to beat the Packers in the championship game at Soldier Field. Undrafted free agent at Colorado State. Now in his 4th year in the league, has only played in a couple of NFL games other than that championship game. Barber runs it for 2.
Yeah, and Haney is a guy that gained some valuable experience last year in the NFC Championship game, replacing Jay Cutler. And he did some very good things in this game, and he did some bad things in this game. Kind of what you would expect under the bright lights. A young quarterback making some terrific throws, and a few that hurt his football team. But that experience will bode well for him down the road if the Bears will have to call on him again, that he's had that kind of experience in a championship game.
In his regular season career, he's thrown 14 balls and has not thrown a touchdown, as Barber is met by Ross in a loss of about 2 yards for Aaron Ross. So Haney threw a touchdown in the playoffs before he threw one in the regular season. Joins a very select group. Ron Jaworski with the Rams.
Wow, that's a nice uniform.
Against the St. Louis Cardinals in '75. Gary Hogaboom, who was famous Cowboy Thanksgiving comeback as well. He did it in the playoff game against the Redskins, and Haney last year, so a very rare route. Think about it, John. You get the L.A. Rams and the St. Louis Cardinals in that game.
John, did you see the perfect mechanics in that ball position? I just want to make sure you're aware of that, Mike.
Please.
You got that?
John's had to bring that picture from home because there was no record that he played with the Rams. There's a pass underneath that is caught at the 40-yard line by Desmond Clark, but it's going to be 5 yards shy of the first down. It's Tyler Sash, rookie 6th-round pick out of Iowa, made the tackle.
Well, when you let all your receivers out for a pass, you have 5 men protecting, and when the Giants bring that 6th defender, you got to throw the ball hot. That's the 3rd time tonight that the Giants have forced the Bears to throw to a hot receiver. They've come up short. They're 0 for 7 on 3rd down.
Adam Podlish's turn to kick. Brian Witherspoon back for the Giants. Caught it at the 20. Room on that right side for Witherspoon. Penalty marker down on the opposite side of the field as Witherspoon's down at the 30. Winston Venable made the special teams tackle for Chicago. Witherspoon, defensive back, trying to make this Giants team in his 3rd year at a Stillman College.
You know, Tom Coughlin, how about walking into his office yesterday and saying, what do you want to do better in this game? He says, well, I want to return better on kickoff returns. I want to have better punt coverage. I want better field goal protection. I want to use more linebackers on special teams. We're 0 for 5 on 3rd down. We didn't score last time.
During the kick, personal foul, grasping the face mask. Number 31 of the kicking team. 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
But there aren't many guys that are like this that I've ever met. He loves football. He loves where he is. And I just hope my sons get to play for Coughlin.
Is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
3 weeks from tonight, the regular season Monday Night Football debut, the doubleheader with 2 division battles. Tom Brady and the Patriots in Miami against the Dolphins, and then Kyle Orton, as the guys told you at halftime, now named the starter for Denver, taking on the Raiders. 3 weeks from tonight, regular season number 42 of Monday Night Football debuts.
Had a chance to watch Chad Henne the other night. Looked pretty good. I'll tell you what, he gets his game together. Watch out for those Dolphins. That will be an awesome game to open our season.
Fired up for that down in Miami. And we mentioned the Raiders in the news with Terrell Pryor being taken in the 3rd round of today's supplemental draft. And Pryor scheduled to join us by phone later on in this 2nd half. David Carr, the quarterback from midfield for the Giants. Pass complete to Victor Cruz. Going to gain 9 on that one before Chris Conti makes the tackle.
Nice job by David Carr. Hit a little hook route. You know, that's the fundamental part of the passing game. It all starts at a little 10-yard curl route. Easy throw, easy catch. If the wide receiver works back to the quarterback, Cruz was very efficient.
Gain of 9, DJ Ware, run right side. The first down to the 34. Here's Susan.
Justin Tuck knows as well as anyone it's the nature of the beast. Injuries. What was the reaction in the locker room to Terrell Thomas and a torn ACL?
Well, I mean, it's devastating. Obviously, he was primed to have another great year for us, and you know, it's a part of that the beast. I mean, like you said, I mean, we don't know who's going to have to step up, but somebody's going to have to step up and you know, fill that void, and it's a big void.
Your fellow D lineman, Osi Umenyiora, out but on his way back.
Yeah.
He's been in the news so much. How does it impact you guys?
It really doesn't, man. We know, you know, when he's here, he's going to play his butt off of this football team, and he's one of the best defensive ends in this league. And, you know, it really hasn't been a distraction for us, man. You know, he's done a great job of keeping that separate. And, you know, for as far as I know, he'll be back in 3 weeks, and we'll just keep it moving like that.
What gets you most excited about the rotation this year?
Hopefully being fresh in fourth quarters when we're trying to finish our games. I mean, you know, that's the luxury we have with having so many pass rushers, so many guys that, you know, can step in there, and regardless of who's on the field, we all feel confident that, you know, that person, that group can get the job done. So, you know, hopefully we can have the success we had last year and even better.
We'll look forward to seeing you this season. Thanks, Justin.
My pleasure. Thank you.
All right, Susie, thank you. DJ Ware, a couple of carries, takes it down to the 22-yard line. Tuck, Jason Pierre-Paul, Tolson have to fill in for now and wait for Osi Umenyiora to come back. I spoke to Osi via phone today. We'll talk about that when the Giants are back on defense. Carr adjusts the play, fakes right, comes back left, complete. Cruz again had the first down. Craig Steltz on the stop for Chicago.
That's a nice play by David Carr. He audibled. He saw a 3-deep zone, and he's going to try to run a double move to the top of his screen and try to move the free safety to try to get Beckham down the seam. But the read starts right up here at the top. They're going to try to get the seam route in the slot to Beckham, number 47. But watch David Carr. He's going to look to the right for the double move. It's not going to be there. His seam isn't there, and he gets to his third receiver as the outlet. That's good quarterback play there.
Carr 5 of 6 thus far. Hands to Ware, who takes it to the 7-yard line. Jaws, remember coming here when Carr was just joining the Giants as a backup in 08. He had spent part of the season in 07 in Carolina, had 4 starts. And he was still shell-shocked, I think, from the 250-sack 6-year stay in Houston.
And, Mike, he needed that time to get his act together here in New York, to kind of let his game calm down. As I said when he came in the game, he has a skill set that projects well to the NFL. He just needs to get in a situation, you know, where he gets the opportunity to play his game and not be forced to play another game. And that means he's going to get beat up.
Ware close to the goal line. Bears trying to say that the ball came out in recovery by Chicago. There's the beanbag thrown in there late, signifying a fumble. Let's take a look at the replay here. Ware reaching out, trying to get the ball across the goal line. Meantime, he's laying on top of another body.
The ruling on the field is the runner fumbled the ball, recovered by the defense. First down, Chicago.
All right, so the ruling on the field is that it's Bears ball, and Tom Coughlin will undoubtedly challenge this one. He's got the flag in hand. Would you like me to throw it, or you want me to just show it to you? So this will be reviewed. It was not ruled a score on the field, so it's not an automatic challenge there. Thus, Coughlin must use a challenge. He's already won one tonight. Ware wasn't down on the field as he stretched it out. It looked like he still had that ball when he came to the ground with the shoulder. Bears offense on the field. It was ruled a fumble and a Chicago recovery down by the goal line. As you watch the replay, the running back trying to fight for the extra yards, laying on the body of another player so he wasn't down. And that has sent Ron Winter under the hood as Tom Coughlin has sent out one challenge and already won it. There's Ware twisting. Once his shoulder comes down, he's considered down. But the question is, did he still have control of the ball, or Jaws did it start to move before the arm came down?
Boy, that's really close. But I think that ball might be moving before his shoulder made contact with the ground.
I think the bottom line is the ball security. You know, at the end of the play, you got to cover up sometimes. Take care of the ball.
Yep.
The New York Giants led the NFL in takeaways. Their defense took the ball away more than any team in football, but they also led the league in giveaways. And right now, there's a chance for the Giants to knock Chicago out, take a 27-6 lead midway through the third. You have to use good judgment at the end of a play if you're a ball carrier. You can't take the ball away from your body in this league. It's going to get ripped away from your chest.
Well, what do you tell the guys fighting for that extra yard down by the goal line, just fighting to reach it out and break the plane for the score, which is what he was trying to do there?
Can't fault the guy for trying. But
Right.
when you take the ball out of a perfect carrying fit in congested waters, the Bears have proven for the last 10 years under Lovie Smith, they're
Exactly.
going to rip the ball away from you. You listen in a meeting all week. The Bears are coming to town. The Bears are coming here. Lovie Smith, they lead the league in stripping the ball and taking it away. Cover it up, especially with a 20-6 lead inside the 5-yard line. That's just common sense. And Tom Coughlin's going to let Ware know about it.
And John said it, 42 giveaways from the Giants offense a year ago. Yeah, the defense had 39 takeaways, but they're still -3 in that category for a 10-6 team. Think if they would have been more careful with the football. They were not careful. Ware was not careful right there. Those are mistakes that will kill you. And that'll be a good teaching moment for Tom Coughlin when he goes in that meeting tomorrow. Guys, this may be a preseason game, but we cannot give the ball away.
After review, the runner was down by contact before losing possession of the ball. Therefore, it is New York's ball. First and goal at the 1-yard line. Please reset the game clock to 7:38. The game clock will start on the ready for play. New York is not charged with a timeout, and because it is their second successful challenge, they are awarded one additional challenge for the remainder of the game.
So ruled when the shoulder comes down that he still has possession of the ball before it's knocked away right there.
You know, Tom Coughlin wins more challenges than any coach I've ever seen. He was 2 for 2 on Monday Night Football last year in Dallas.
Exactly right.
He's 2 for 2 tonight.
You know, for the not from the technical savvy generation. I don't think
No.
Tom has a Twitter account, but
No, he doesn't.
he's used the technology of replay better than anybody. Now, I know you're such a rules guy, John, challenges. I think if you win your first 2 challenges, you should keep getting them until you get them wrong.
It's 20 after 10. We got 8 minutes left in the third quarter with these challenges, Mike.
DJ Ware is the back. Chance to take it in from a yard out, and that time he twists, slams that arm around and blinks the plane for the touchdown.
Ware's running impressively. I don't want to take that away from him. That's just an excellent finish by Ware at the goal line. Watch him. It's a stalemate at the point of attack. He keeps his legs alive, spins, and he's exposing that ball again. I'll tell you what.
Corey Graham for the Bears almost got his hand to it, but Ware put his hand down so his shin didn't touch the ground. And now they're waiting to mark it ready for play to confirm that it was a score or see if it needs to be reviewed.
Now, come on, look at these fans. They're going, what is going on? Just delay, delay, delay. All right, now we can kick it. Touchdown confirmed.
That added about 17 seconds. Boy, the extra point. I'm telling you guys, the rule is going to change a game when they go to look at the score.
We'll see, Mike. We'll see. We got everybody on it.
Back in New Jersey, Giants lead 27-6. The Statue of Liberty. Standing sentinel there in the harbor off of the point of Lower Manhattan. Great view from Jersey as well.
You know, Mike, I see a lot of these young linebackers out here for the Giants. Mark Herzlich, there he is. What a great story. Boston College, what he's overcome. Getting a chance to run down here. He's playing for a roster spot.
He's playing on every special team tonight.
Herzlich, a cancer survivor, 5 yards deep. Brought out by Mike Holmes, who takes it to the 22-yard line. Well, you mentioned the Herzlich story, ACC Defensive Player of the Year. At Boston College in 2008, then was diagnosed with bone cancer. It was a situation where he was ready to come out for the draft that April, and then just a few weeks after the draft, he decided to stay in college, but was diagnosed with bone cancer and missed that entire 2009 season, but came back last year to play effectively for Boston College and was not drafted, so he had the long way through the lockout to find an NFL home and was decided to sign with the Giants. Had many offers, choosing to play here for the Giants. Haney with the carry as he gets hit. We asked Herzlich about overcoming the challenges he faced.
It got taken away from me because of cancer. I wanted to play, and that was my goal, to get back on the field. And then when I went undrafted, it's someone taking football away again. And then kept pushing, and now it's the same thing. I have that will, that drive to continue my career, and that's the love of the game.
And he's so easy to root for, guys. We talked to him for a while on Saturday afternoon, and his passion and his acumen for understanding football really has shown in this Giants camp a couple of weeks. A late hit on the quarterback who was running, took it out to the 42, and Barber takes it to midfield with a gain of 8.
You know, Mike Herzlich is a Philadelphia kid. I got to know him very well, his family very well. An amazing group of people, and certainly, you know, Mark is indicative of what their family spirit is all about. You know, it's a wonderful group of people. He's overcome an awful lot. You know, the fact that he's on this field tonight is really something special. And even more special, a lot of teams after the draft obviously couldn't sign him immediately, but when they were able to sign him, a lot of teams wanted to sign this young man, and he chose the Giants.
From midfield, Barber will get a first down. Gain of 5.
I like everything about Mark Herzlich also, but what I like about him is he's making plays. Watch him on kickoff coverage, whack that guy. And then he's on kickoff return. Watch him sustain a block and allow the return to come right off his inside. Then later in the game, he's coming down, he's off the double team, he disengages, he spins, he separates, makes another tackle. I like this guy's Herzlich. He was a great player a couple years ago, and he knows he's not all the way back, but he says he's getting close.
Makes plays like that on special teams, he'll earn a roster spot.
He'll face you up and hit you.
Barber the run left, about 7 yards, and he's on so many different special teams. That's the only way he'll probably make this Giants roster, although Perry Fuel, the defensive coordinator, talked about what a great student of the game he is. Remember, these guys are at such a disadvantage, the undrafted free agents, because they had no time for the mini camps and those rookie camps. He said every day in the lunchroom, his head's in a notebook. He's taking notes, he's swimming, he's trying to understand all the data and all the defense around him, but he is truly trying to play catch-up and doing a decent job. Barber left. He stopped.
You know, that's one thing about the Bear offense that frustrates me a little bit. You saw Manning earlier, audible to a run away from a blitz. That time, Caleb Henney's got to see the free safety down weak. He's unblocked. It's an unblockable look, and the play has no chance, Ron. You'd like to see an audible of some kind, but I don't care if you have Marion Barber or Jim Brown. When you run the ball into some of these looks and don't account for these safeties, good luck.
I'm not going to argue with it, but the Mike Martz system is he calls the play, you run the play. They do not have audibles built into their system. And every once in a while, you're going to get a bad play.
Too much time. Bears got a timeout before the delay game, so pick up the flag thrown on the other side. And 3rd and 5 when we come back with the Giants on top 27-6. Bears will have 3rd and 5 coming up with Caleb Haney, their backup quarterback. Their third quarterback is a 5th-round pick out of Idaho, Nate Enderle, who played well enough in the preseason game against Buffalo last week to briefly knock Caleb Haney, the number 3 quarterback. But that was only for a day. After Caleb played poorly and Enderle played well, Haney was back as the number 2 at practice a day later. His 3rd and 5 throw as Barber wide open for the first down. Spencer Pasinger takes him down at the 30.
You know, we always talk about Marion Barber, you know, the barbarian, gives you those tough yards, but he also has very soft hands. He's caught a couple balls coming out of the backfield. Now, this is a big reception right here on 3rd down and 5 to move the chains, but I like the accuracy of the throw of Haney. He got the ball out front, so you have Barber turn up the field and get the first down. But Barber does have nice soft hands catching the ball.
Second straight game with good numbers for Barber. Haney eludes the rush and throws incomplete. Intended for Chris Adams, the rookie out of UTEP. Ayanga Akpakawarak for the Giants brought the pressure. They just have good-looking, long-named defensive ends.
Say that again. I bet you can't.
Ayanga Akpakawarak.
I love that name.
A-OK is what the coaches call him.
I would too.
It's A-OK, right?
Akapaka work. 2nd and 10, pass rush situation. Bears have used a lot of screens in this situation.
Haney throws to his tight end. That's a guy who's also lit up some eyes at the Bears camp. Kyle Adams, undrafted rookie out of Purdue.
Mike, you're absolutely right. You know, when we talk to the offensive coaches in Chicago, this is the guy they mentioned. As I look down on my sheet, I see a big star by his name because, you know, there's some guys we don't know a whole lot about. So you talk to the coaches that have worked with these guys through training camp, and he certainly has garnered the attention of the offensive coaches and, of course, Lovie Smith, the head coach.
A lot of people at the tight end spot, the veteran Desmond Clark, Matt Spaeth, and Kellen Davis as well. Haney's pass underneath, caught by Sanzenbacher, fighting for the extra yard and very close to a first down. Flag down late, back in the secondary.
You know, this Dane Sanzenbacher spent a lot of time at Ohio State studying their players. This kid did a lot of good things. He can return kicks. He can make plays in the slot. Very instinctive, heady football player that will be missed in Columbus. I mean, they used to throw the ball to the other receiver, and Sanzenbacher come out of nowhere and score. And then on 4th and 10, to help win the Big Ten title, they went to Sanzenbacher. In red zone, tight coverage, he'd win. In the Sugar Bowl. Look at this effort play. Just instinctive touchdown, making a play on a fumble. Say his name, Mike.
Sanzenbacher.
I love the way you do those 4-syllable names. Akapaka work, Sanzenbacher. This guy's a good football player. They like him here. He just made an excellent second effort surging for a potential first down.
We're going to measure for the first down after they look at the flag. So a guy with 124 catches, under 6 foot. Does he have a place in this Mike Martz offense, Josh?
Oh, absolutely. No question. You know, the guys, you know, we talked about the Giants slot receiver. The Bears are looking for that same kind of guy. You know, we've seen the Wes Welkers of the world dominate inside because they're quick, they're shifty, and they're smart. Sanzenbacher fits that bill. He's that kind of player.
Lovey was out there ready to run a play. He had no idea, and neither team did, that Ron Winter had asked for a measurement.
Let's see what Marion Barber and this short yardage offense looks like to the Bears. You know, last year on 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, I don't want to say they weren't good, but they weren't good. They were 11 out of 23 or 24. You have the exact stat, I'm sure, Ron. But this is a time, if I'm Lovie Smith, I say, hey, Coach Martz, reverse out and hand the ball to Barber and make sure he gets the first down. This is the attitude, the physicality that they've tried to bring to the Chicago Bears, and Barber has to do this job for the Bears. This is going to be one of his major roles.
John, just so I give you those numbers, they were only 48% on that short yardage situation, 1 or less, 13 of 27 plays on 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1. So there's your stat, and you are correct. They weren't very good.
Thanks, Ron. Let's see Barber.
Haney's going to keep it. And he'll get the first down. Well, you guys talking about Barber, I thought Lovie Smith made an interesting comment when Barber was free and available after Dallas set him out. He said some of his defensive players mentioned to him, hey, that's the kind of guy we'd love to have because we didn't like going up against him with his physical contact and the way he ran inside. And that is something that the offensive guys feel has immediately had an impact on the psyche of this team in camp.
Every time he has the ball, the play ends with a collision. That's how he runs the rock.
First and 10. Trying to throw to the tight end back on the other side. It was covered by the Giants, and the pass was incomplete.
I think Marion Barber can help the Bears in much more than just a power running game. He can get the ball on the perimeter. You see him in space. He's always going north and south. He's got good vision. He can bring the ball straight down the field. And again, I love running backs that run behind their pads. You see the collision right there. And he can catch the football out of the backfield. In those short yardage passing situations, he can be a go-to receiver.
Barber toss. Collisions there as he gets right to the mark for the first down. Hit by Kenny Ingram out of Florida State.
You know, if you want to run the ball on the perimeter or outside in the NFL, you have to have wide receivers and tight ends that can block. And they get the corner with two down blocks. You saw number 84, Adams, do a nice job sealing the edge. Good finish by Marion Barber.
Chris Spencer also out leading the way, 67. He's the center now for the Bears. Seattle let him free and signed here with Chicago. Haney threw before he got hit and got rid of it. As Deion Grant was coming, speaking to guys who used to play for the Seahawks, he played there for 3 years. Giants decided to bring him back for insurance in that safety spot.
I see Marvin Austin out there, the Giants' second-round draft choice playing. Interesting story. A lot of controversy in college football these days, Mike. We're hearing about Terrell Pryor getting drafted today. There's a scandal at Miami right now. In North Carolina, this young man missed the entire season last year. They like him here so far in Giants camp.
Second and goal, a toss with Barber. Tried to put the ball over the pylon before he got in. Will that he, let's see, stepped out of bounds, I believe, at the 2. The 2 officials confirmed what they saw, and he is out of bounds, according to the call at the 2.
And you'll see him right there. It's like that toe just touched the line. And Mike, back to Marvin Austin. I love what Perry Fuel said when he came to our meeting and we asked him about Austin. He said, sap-like. You know, that kind of defines him real quick.
Let me see that.
Just tell me what he said, John. He was sitting there.
I think Barber was into me on that one, guys. He's not challenged, only a gain of a yard down to the 1. That's going to bring up 4th and goal from the 1.
This is an area last year, another area that Chicago really struggled until Chester Taylor took over. I thought Chester Taylor really ignited Chicago in goal line and short yardage situations. Early in the year, you remember some of those games against Detroit, Washington. Yes. They struggled to get it in from the 1-yard line.
Tom Coughlin wants to call a timeout and get the right people out there. You saw a wholesale change. The Giants had 12 on the field right before Coughlin called that timeout before 4th and goal. The flag was thrown before the Giants left the field, so did he get the timeout before the flag was thrown?
A lot of flags tonight.
Preseason game. See what Ron Winter has. Well, they get the timeout. No flag and a timeout. So the 4th and goal still for the Bears coming up. Bears have 4th and a yard and a half. And they will go for it on what has been a very long drive. Play 16 coming up here. Chicago looking for its first touchdown of the night.
Well, you got Marion Barber. That's why you brought him to Chicago.
of the goal line. Philip Dillard, middle linebacker out of Nebraska, part of the Giant stop. New York ball.
I love a goal line stand. You know, goal line defense is one of the most exciting plays in football. They stuffed this power play right off the Bears' right side. Penetration, and Philip Dillard from Nebraska. Excellent job at the point of attack.
Deion Grant, first contact.
Jones got in there.
Jones, yeah.
Sixth round pick.
That's what slowed him down.
Greg Jones has made some plays tonight. Sixth rounder out of Michigan State.
And then your guy, Pakhawarak, was also over there as well.
That goal line offense of the Bears, they need to finish a drive. What a disappointment after a 17-play drive to come up empty.
It remains 27-6. David Carr is still in the quarterback for the Giants, and Andre Brown's is running back. Andre seeks space, getting out of the end zone, and we'll take it to the other end of the field for the fourth quarter. Reminder, we'll talk to Terrell Pryor, now of the Oakland Raiders, during this fourth quarter. Giants lead by 21. Good news, Giants winning. Bad news, they've lost corner Terrell Thomas for the year tonight with a torn ACL. Another one of their defensive big names is out with a knee injury. O.C. Umenyiora had his right knee scoped on Friday. It was a simple clean out, but it's been part of a very tumultuous offseason with O.C. Now, the knee injury is going to have him out 3 to 4 weeks. This guy had a great impact season. Cutler knows all too well. 10 forced fumbles, NFL record. Umenyiora was holding out at the start of the camp. He had said that Jerry Reese, the GM, promised him a new deal, top 5, top 10 type money. That wasn't happening. He said if that didn't happen, he would get a trade. That was all put in an affidavit in the whole lawsuit with Tom Brady and the other plaintiffs in the NFL collective bargaining agreement. That was eventually settled. But Tom Coughlin did not have Umenyiora back. Then he was here and not practicing. Finally got on the field for 3 practices and then injured his knee. And it was clear the Giants knew that there was a pre-existing condition. It's not like the knee cropped up because O.C. wanted out of training camp. The Giants have said that. And I talked to O.C. today, and he confirmed that. He did say that he is not going to hold out for the rest of the year. He is committed to playing for the Giants for the rest of the season. And then when he came back in practice for those 3 practices, he rekindled that true passion for football, what he loves to do. The whole contract and the business part put aside. Being around the teammates has him fired up to come back when healthy. Andre Brown carries it to the 8. O.C. told me that he will not come back until he's completely healed. So it's not a situation where you're getting hurt and coming back, but he feels like, you know, the opener is going to be a tough call against Washington, but he feels he'll be back relatively soon in the first month of the season, and the Giants need him. The contract issues, you know, once those start, John, it seems with players sometimes that can linger all year as a distraction. He said it's not going to be. Only time will tell if that's the case or not. Oops. I think we missed that snap count by a beat or 2. Daniel Coates moving.
You know what happens.
Offense number 46. Penalize half the distance to the goal. 3rd down.
You know what happens sometimes is these great players, they see contracts around the league. Charles Johnson of the Carolina Panthers, for instance, a young defensive end, had 1 great year, got a $72 million deal with millions guaranteed. And I'm sure O.C. sitting in his house thinking, how can that guy make more than Justin Tuck and I combined? So, you know, these guys, they go through a lot emotionally. But at the end of the day, O.C. Umenyiora is a great player. And he loves playing for the Giants, and I really believe he'll be back for the Redskins.
But, John, there is a sanctity of the contract. You sign a contract, you live up to it as well. When it's your turn, then you take advantage of it.
Brown catches. He's going to be shy of the first down.
I agree with that.
Yeah. I know what you're saying. You look around, the guys get more money. You say, oh, I want more money.
Right.
When your time comes, that's when you go in and negotiate.
You know what he saw, though? You see a Sean O'Hara and a Rich Seibert get injured, and then they're no longer Giants because they get cut, although they still had contract time. And you start to get that fear. Wait, I don't have much on my deal, and I'm underpaid for my impact at the position. And there's the concern. And he admits that that was part of what caused the distraction. But he said going forward that he is committed to being a Giant with no holdout problems the rest of this year. Out of his own end zone in this punting battle, Weatherford just hit a great kick. Sanzenbacher, the 35, picked up a good block but couldn't pick up yardage. He's going to lose a couple on the way back.
What a punt by Weatherford.
Battling for a job. 57-yard kick. Giants lead the Bears 27-6. Big story of this NFL day, Terrell Pryor, the outstanding 31-4 record at Ohio State, picked by the Raiders in the third round of the supplemental draft today. Every team had the option to take, and they passed if they didn't want to take, and the Raiders said they would put in a third-round pick that they will not have now in the 2012 draft to take Pryor. And Terrell joins us on the phone, and you get us as this phone call. I understand Al Davis was the phone call right before us. What did the managing general partner of the Raiders say to you?
He's just telling me, they have to concentrate a little bit on this game up from a week, so he wanted to fly me in later on in the week, and I'm just looking forward to the opportunity.
What was your reaction when you found out the Raiders took you in the third round today?
It was definitely one of the teams that I wanted to play for. So I was very happy and excited when I heard that Mr. Al Davis was going to give me an opportunity, and I'll take full advantage of it.
What have they told you is their plan for you?
As of right now, you play quarterback and, just learn behind Jason Campbell and get, learn from Kyle Buller and Edwards. And that's what I'm going to do right now. I just want to do everything for the team and eventually, work my way.
Trent Edwards and Kyle Buller, two guys with starting experience, are the backups for Campbell. Caleb Haney's pass is incomplete. What is your feeling about exclusively playing quarterback, or are you open to other roles to get yourself on the field earlier?
I'm a quarterback at heart. I love quarterback everything. I live it, breathe it, and it means the world to me. But right now, I'm on a team right now, so whatever the team needs me to do to win, I will definitely do. And whatever Mr. Davis wants me to do and Coach Jackson wants me to do, I'm going to do, because I'm all about winning. And if the team needs me to go out and catch a pass, I'm going to go out and catch a pass.
Jackson, first-year head coach with the Raiders. Haney's pass here is incomplete, intended for the veteran Desmond Clark. What about the 5-game suspension, Terrell? Are you going to appeal it, or will you, because we've heard two different things, will you stay through here and not appeal it?
Just from talking to Mr. Davis, I'm going to go in and then, talk to him about what we want to do. At first, we didn't want to appeal, but I'm going to leave it up to Mr. Davis and the coaching staff and Coach Jackson and whatever they decide and think that I should do. I just don't want to cause a media buzz or, I don't want to be all on the media. I just want to go in and serve the time and play and be a part of the Oakland Raiders and win.
Here's Spencer landing a 40-yard punt returned by Brian Witherspoon for 9 yards. The pro day, Saturday. I know you wowed people with your 40 time. Your throws went pretty well as you try to join Eli Manning in this quarterback fraternity. How important do you think that pro day was in getting selected third round in the supplemental draft?
Huge. I mean, it was huge. All the odds was against me, as everybody knows. Doing it with a 5-game suspension, I think that's pretty hard to, take a guy and he's not going to be helping you for 5 games and can't play in the game. Also, all the buzz going around and, just the media stuff and things like that. I'm just blessed for the opportunity that I had to work out in front of all the great coaches that came, the scouts, and I'm just glad I had the opportunity. I think it helped me a lot because I threw the ball great and ran a great 40, and, I think that helped out a lot, to answer your question.
Have you watched the preseason differently as the Giants take a timeout here? They couldn't get organized. Have you watched the NFL preseason over the last couple of weeks with a different eye, knowing that you had a chance to be a part of the league if things worked out?
Oh, yeah. I'm very hyped about it, and I really can't wait to get on the field. I'm very anxious, and I can't wait to play. I'm gonna be ready, and I can't wait. That's all I can say.
When we saw the show that you did with Coach Gruden back this spring and summer, what'd you learn about what you needed to learn to get ready to be an NFL quarterback from that time in Gruden quarterback camp?
Don't throw a lot of bubble screens. And then we know Coach Gruden don't like bubble screens. Don't throw bubble screens. I just learned a lot from the guy. I mean, I spent extra time with him the 2 days I had extra with him, and it was just great, and just learning from a guy like John Gruden. I'm going to cherish that and use every moment and just all the notes that I still have them with me, from the defenses, the nickel defenses and the packages and stuff like that. And I learned an awful lot from him, and I'm going to take that with me, and I appreciate him helping me.
Terrell, that's so nice of you to say, man. It's John Gruden. I'm really excited that you're going to the Raiders. I spent 4 years there. Don't tell Mr. Davis that you talked to me, though.
You just did.
Oh, yeah, we're on TV. But I just want to just challenge you to make sure you get to know your teammates. And I really love the state of mind that you're in. I just wanted to wish you luck, and I'm really happy for you.
Hey, JT, I'm going to get after it, man.
I know you will.
David Carr on the roll and the throw. Pass is complete to Devin Thomas, fighting for a job here. Terrell, through this whole process, you're going forward. As you take that first step toward the NFL, what do you have to say to the folks at Ohio State and Columbus who are big supporters of you and all the 3 years of great play there? What do you have to say to those folks as you turn the page to this next chapter of your career?
Just because I'm gone, I'm always going to be a Buckeye. I'm a root for the Buckeyes, and I know them guys are, shock the world. They got that thing going on, that theme going on, and I always root for the Buckeyes. I'm always a Buckeye, and go Bucks.
Dane Sansabacher, guy you threw the ball to a bunch the last couple of years here trying to win a job with the Bears. Well, Terrell, good luck over the next couple of days. We look forward to seeing you as you take your steps in the NFL.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Terrell Pryor, the pick of the Raiders today in the 3rd round of the supplemental draft. Giants' Stacey Andrews called for a false start. Drops it back to 1st and 15 here with the Giants leading by 21. Jaws, what do you think of the fit of Pryor with the Raiders as he goes through this stretch? And it sounds like, from what he said, the Raiders have appealed things to the league office in the past. Sounds like they're going to take the lead here and trying to perhaps appeal the suspension. Thomas the catch to the 43 as Devin gains 6.
The first thing I liked was the attitude of Terrell Pryor. He seemed to be at peace with himself and where he's going with his life and as an NFL quarterback. And keep that dream alive to be an NFL quarterback. He certainly is an incredibly gifted athlete, running a 4.3, 9.40. The guy's 250 pounds. He could probably play other positions. But I think he's got a high mountain to climb. And he's got to be very, very patient making that climb. It's a tough road to hoe to become a quarterback in the NFL. He's got to be patient, and I would say relax for a year.
2nd and 9 for David Carr. The inside handoff with Andre Brown. Take it to the 36-yard line. Anthony Walters back there to make the stop, along with Dom DeSico out of Pitt.
And here's where the New York Giants, I believe, are going to be in 4-down territory. They're going to use 2 running plays, I would think, and slam this ball, keep it on the ground, keep the clock moving. Let's evaluate our tight ends blocking. Let's evaluate this young fullback out of Pittsburgh. Oh, he's not in the game. 3 wides, Jaws. They're going to throw it.
Guys trying to earn a job, and Devin Thomas and Michael Clayton. Darrell Jernigan as well, the 3rd receiver. As Carr goes for Jernigan. He couldn't pull it in as Corey Graham, now in his 5th year already in the league, broke it up.
Jernigan's a 3rd-round draft choice, and he's not the biggest guy to be a slot receiver in this league. He's wearing Steve Smith's number, does a nice job getting a release down the field. It's just a very good recovery by Graham, playing the ball out of his blind spot. That's what every defensive back has to do, be able to play that down the field throw in the blind spot.
That ball skill, that's what that ball's in the air. Locate it and swipe it out of the receiver's hand. But David Carr doing a nice job with this Giant offense thus far. He's coming out of the huddle, identifying the defense, moving people around. He has command of this offense.
So Brian Witherspoon being taken off for the Giants after that last punt return. Carr runs for the 1st down and runs to the sideline at the 20. And scrambled by David Carr to pick up 17 yards on the 1st down.
And he obviously has very good mobility. And sometimes as a quarterback, you're back in that pocket, you're looking downfield, and all of a sudden the defensive line just goes wide, and it just is crystal clear for you. And boy, that's just a beautiful feeling for a quarterback. You'll see Carr looking downfield. All of a sudden, that seam opens up right in front of you. You understand the situation, take the 1st down, and get on out of bounds.
Ryan Perilou is the other quarterback for the Giants, who we might see tonight after Andre Brown runs for a couple of yards. We mentioned the quarterback battle with Sage Rosenfels, who is not playing because of strep throat, and David Carr. Financially, Carr is the more appealing at the moment, but that doesn't mean you're in a situation where the Giants could keep Rosenfels and ask him to adjust his pay if that's the decision they have to make in a couple of weeks.
Not only that, but David Carr knows Eli Manning, was here. You said that earlier. There's some familiarity, not only with this offense, but relationships with Kevin Gilbride. They know exactly what they have here in David Carr.
17, quick shot over the middle for the touchdown with Daniel Coates.
Well, when you can run it, you can throw the play action. And David Carr just put an exclamation point on a very good night.
Yeah,
He's going to reverse pivot. He's going to fake the ball to his left. The linebackers are going to bite on a trap fake. Nobody covers a seam route. That's excellent game planning by Kevin Gilbride and fine execution. There's Coates, the ex-Cincinnati Bengal. Yep. They have competition at tight end. They have competition at fullback. I've seen them get better at areas they need to, Ron.
John, that's taking advantage of some young, inexperienced linebackers in there. They're going to see that trap coming. They're looking in the backfield, not reading their keys, and you get Coates wide open.
David Carr's been pretty good here tonight, guys. 9 of 11, 84 yards, couple of touchdowns, including that one to Coates. You know, David Carr making the most of the opportunity to play again, since he was a late ad free agent off another roster. He didn't have that first week of practice, so he comes in, gets game action, and looks sharp here. That'll keep an interesting storyline the next 2 weeks for the Giants, who will be the backup to Eli Manning. Seen several kick returns here tonight. And Reese Lloyd will give us another one here as he kicked it short enough for DJ Moore to take back. Down to the 21 with Kenny Ingram making the tackle. Bears didn't get in the end zone, but Jay Cutler was not sacked as often as he was last week or last year here. We'll talk to the Bears quarterback when we come back.
We keep hearing from Bears players and coaches that it's a new and improved Jay Cutler. What have you been working so hard on to improve?
Oh, you know, a little bit of everything. Second year in the offense, so things are coming a little bit quicker to me, and we've got some new guys out there, so just trying to help everybody out.
Well, you told us that you felt the offensive line would have a lot to prove tonight. What was your assessment?
I think they got better. I mean, I think they gained some confidence, more importantly. It's a young group of guys out there, and they're starting to gel together, and I think they made a big step tonight.
And where are you in terms of finding that rhythm with Roy Williams?
We're getting there. You know, Roy, I mean, he missed the first, 6 days and stuff, so he's playing a little bit of catch-up. We didn't have any OTAs, so we're coming along. You know, we just got to keep getting him and try to get him involved in the offense.
What was the healing process like for you, physically and mentally, coming off the NFC Championship game loss?
You know, it took a couple months. You know, the good thing this year is we had a lot of downtime. So, you know, May, June, we really got together with the receivers in Chicago and worked on some stuff. So, you know, I've never felt better.
What was it like trying to get all the guys together during the lockout?
It was easy. You know, a lot of our guys are married in Chicago full time, so getting them together, they were happy to do it, you know, because they had been stuck home for a long time. So everyone was open and willing to it.
Do you feel like you have to go out and prove something on the field now?
No. You know, I'm going to go out and do my job, and just like everyone else on this team, we got a lot of leaders and we got a lot of great players on this team. So, you know, we just need to stay together and keep improving day by day.
Thanks, Jay.
Thank you.
Susie, thank you. Maybe he'll be throwing to Dane Sanzenbacher, who's got a chance to be with the first unit of the offense. Just caught a 15-yarder there from Caleb Haney. Haney tried to get it back to Sanzenbacher, but was deflected down the middle. Jaquan Williams, one of the Giants, back there with the deflection. Here's the one that found Sanzenbacher.
Yeah, just an outside breaking route. Good timing by Caleb, throwing the ball to the outside. Good location. This kid Sanzenbacher, he never gets tired. He's a natural hands receiver. And in Mike Mart's system, if you've ever seen these guys practice, these receivers do a lot of running. And he can play multiple positions. That's his ally right now. Football savvy.
Be where you're supposed to be is the Mike Martz mantra. Time it up with the quarterback. You showed that catch by Sanzenbacher was beautifully executed. Haney was right in rhythm with his route. That's the foundation of that Mike Martz offense. Although it hasn't been all that sharp tonight, they're honing their skills for the regular season.
Haney was telling us a couple of days ago that if you are late in any portion of this offense, any of the 11 guys on the field, this offense doesn't work. And you say, well, wait a minute, doesn't that happen with most offenses? And he feels that the timing for this one is more intricate than others. And receivers are demanded. You have to be in that spot. You have a responsibility. High throw, Haney brought down by Knox, 39-yard line. Gain of 19.
Interesting that Johnny Knox is in this game with 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter, down 34-6.
They roughed the passer, so at 15, it'll be down at the 24-yard line. The guy who caught 51 balls tied for the team lead last year.
Yeah, 18 yards a catch, just a simple square in. Ball's thrown early, and Johnny goes up and gets it in the crowd. That's what you want to see a receiver do. He's not the biggest Chicago Bear receiver, but he plays big. He had a huge year last year, returning, receiving. They hand the ball to him on reverses. And I like the way he's competing. He's not going to give Roy Williams his starting split end job. I can assure you of that.
Well, he shouldn't do that. Maybe that's why he wants to be in this game right now. We saw that nice route he just ran, and his skill set is a nice fit for that Mike Martz system. You know, they don't run a lot of those, those breaking routes. They roll into their breaks. It's all about those speed cuts and dart cuts, and his game is molded toward that Martz offense.
Haney to Sanzenbacher again. Fighting for that extra yard, trying to gain the first down. Just short.
Been in a lot of these situations late in preseason games. You want to get your backup quarterbacks work. And Lovie Smith pointed it out to us yesterday, fellas. He says this guy needs to play better. Caleb did not play well against the Buffalo Bills. That's why he went to the young guy Enderle. You have to take advantages of your opportunity, and I like what Caleb has done tonight, moving the Bears up and down the field. They just got to finish a drive, get something on the board.
Yeah, and a bright spot will be their offensive line. I think for most of the evening, they've been very proficient, and especially when you consider the last time this offense was on the field here at the New Meadowlands, there were 10 sacks.
Khalil Bell going to pick up the first down to the 12-yard line. What do you guys think the Bears will do in this division? Obviously, they won the division championship last year, but Green Bay won the NFC title game at Soldier Field and won the Super Bowl.
Well, I think, first of all, Green Bay is maybe the best team in football. Obviously, they have hoisted that Vince Lombardi trophy. They still have it. But this Bears team, when I look at them right now, is a little bit of a work in progress on the offensive line and the wide receiver position. I didn't think Roy Williams, picked his game up tonight. We want to see how he's going to fit. So I think they'll be a wild card team. I see Green Bay winning the division.
Haney from the 12. Kyle Adams out of Purdue, 3-yard shy of the first down. Quan Williams leading the tackling parade again, along with Joe Burnett.
Where do you see him, John?
Well, you didn't give me time to answer, so
I'm coming to you now,
I think the division is going to be much improved. I'm impressed with the progress the Detroit Lions have made. I really do like the Chicago Bears because of the second year of Mike Martz in this system. They play great defense, generate turnovers, and I think the Vikings are going to be much improved. It's going to go down to week 15, week 16, and health of your team is going to really matter this year.
So who's your pick?
2nd and 4, Haney. Kept the play alive. Back to the end zone for Knox. Couldn't come down with the 2 feet.
I'm going to pick the Green Bay Packers. I don't think you need to be a road scholar.
Well, we weren't sure.
I mean, not all of us went to Youngstown State. I'm going with Green Bay.
Yeah, well,
I'm just pointing out that this is going to be a very competitive division. Donovan McNabb is going to redeem himself this year. You watch. He's not going to Minnesota and fail. He's going to go down there on a mission. They have a pretty good running back I like, and they still have 3 or 4 Pro Bowlers on defense, and they're tough in that dome.
We'll see the Bears in Detroit. First Monday Night Football game in Detroit in 10 years. Second Monday of October. Bell spinning and turning. Tristan Tratow, rookie out of Florida. Darnell Burks over there, and it'll be 4th down.
Bears are persistent down here, running the ball inside the 5. And on 4th and 1, I think it's important that Chicago gets something. They've had 2 long, drawn-out drives, and they both, one of them ended inside the 1. It's important that they capitalize right here and get the first down or score.
Chris Adams out of UTEP, the receiver at the top of the screen. Haney fires towards the middle. It is intercepted. That Herzlich? Yes, it was. And we showed you Mark Herzlich earlier out of Boston College. One of the great feel-good stories of last year in college football. And this Giants camp, and he comes up with the interception down in the red zone. And hang on to that football. Pretty good play.
Great play.
Eli Manning, like his counterpart on the other side, playing behind a new-look offensive line. How did it feel tonight?
I thought it felt good. I thought we we communicated better, not as many mistakes. Moved the ball, had some third down conversions, had a big fourth down conversion. So I thought the guys made some plays. We still got some things we can work on, but I thought it was better than we did last week. So that was always the goal.
Speaking of working on things, your offensive coordinator Kevin Gilbride talks about what a solid season you had, but overshadowed by the interceptions. What specifically have you been working on?
Well, just making better decisions. Today had some throwaways. When there's pressure, not trying, to make plays when things aren't there. So trying to be smart with the ball. Make sure we got another down, we got another series, and so things are open. I'm always, I'm gonna try to throw it. I'm gonna be aggressive, but not trying to force things when obviously nothing good's gonna come from it.
Thanks, Eli.
Sure thing. Thanks a lot.
Susie, thank you. Eli Manning's other quarterback roommate is Ryan Perilou, who handed off to Darrell Scott out of Maryland. And they're not going to catch Scott. 97 yards.
That's why you don't turn the film on until the game is over. Darrell Scott was drafted out of Maryland, and everybody knew he could run. But who knew he had this kind of vision and stop and start quickness? He just went 99 yards. Remember on Monday Night Football when Tony Dorsett did that? Right off his own goal line.
Watch the incredible balance right here. He hides behind the offensive line, almost gets knocked down in the backfield, maintains incredible balance. Now he's in the open field, and the only thing he sees is that blue New York Giant end zone. Wow. What a run by Darrell Scott.
They told us they had a couple of young backs that they liked.
Officially 97 yards. Reese Lloyd adds the extra point, 41-6 Giants. Scott was a starter for a couple of years at Maryland, 7th on their all-time list, and ended up sharing time his senior year with Devin Megan, who was the son of former Giant Dave Megan.
He played for an ex-NFL coordinator in a pro-style scheme. A lot of his runs looked uncontested. The holes were gigantic, and it was hard to evaluate him on. But when you did watch him in short yardage and in some tight situations, he did show the ability to make you miss. And when he got in the open air, Ron, he could go to the house on you. That's an impressive run for any back at any level. But wow, yeah, the 97 yards.
And there was some confusion with folks of how to evaluate, because as you said, his sophomore year he had 1,133 yards. He was second in the ACC, and then it became more of a timeshare, and his productivity was not the same. So there's a little bit of, well, how good was he if he wasn't even the #1 without a doubt on his own team? But taken in the 7th round out of Maryland in that 97-yard run.
The one thing you can't coach is speed. And the one thing we saw from Darrell Scott, not only at the University of Maryland, but here tonight, he has speed.
How about a no-touchback night at the ballpark? Mike Holmes out of Syracuse with a return out to the 16-yard line. Thursday night, Donovan McNabb, speaking of guys out of Syracuse, so if you caught that segue, he's no longer in Washington. He's in Seattle, Washington. With Joe Flacco, Ray Rice is still in Baltimore. Ravens, Redskins, Thursday night at 8 Eastern. And word today that the Redskins will not name a starter right up until they get to week 1 against these Giants. John Beck and Rex Grossman's impressive quarterback performance the last 2 weeks by both individuals.
Yeah, I had a chance to watch John Beck the other night. Boy, he looked very efficient running that Redskins offense. A lot of stretch running plays, bootleg out the backside. Looked like a quarterback that had command of the offense.
He was 14 of 17 in that one. Chris Adams out of UTEP, number 2 on the UTEP all-time receiving list with that catch.
You know, don't count out Rex Grossman. He's a fiery competitor, and he actually went on the record and said the Redskins will win the NFC East. You got to love that confidence.
As Bear fans chuckle. Pass caught by Andy Fantus out of the CFL. He was an all-star in the CFL. The guy who just caught the last pass in 2010. 5 years up in Saskatchewan for the Rough Riders.
I bet he can throw that out real well, because you have to throw it real well with that wide field up in Canada.
Rule that he didn't get out of bounds, so the clock kept running, and we've hit the 2-minute warning. And Robert, see you guys coming up here in a little bit. Well, always interesting, the battles for jobs. It's one with the Giants Center, the punters, Steve Weatherford and Matt Dodge. They got a couple more weeks to play out. Giants close with the Jets and New England. Both of these teams playing 3 games in 11 days.
I think it's a very important battle for the Giants. Dodge has tremendous ability, and I've never seen a punter built like Dodge. I mean, this guy looks like he could bench 450 pounds. I'm not kidding you. But the question is, can Tom Coughlin forget about some of the things that happened last year? But both these guys struck the ball extremely well. Look at the average.
Wow. Huge.
Inside the 20. And it's very important that they directional kick. Tom Coughlin wants that ball kick between the numbers and the sideline to minimize these great return men skills.
I think he remembers Deshaun Jackson from a year ago if you don't kick it properly.
2nd and 4. Haney throws to Khalil Bell, first down. 43. Herzlich with the interception series ago, made the tackle. Bears play at Tennessee on Saturday, Cleveland on Thursday. Pass was behind and brought in. What Henry Jones comes up with the catch.
That was 39. A spectacular catch, Mike. That was great body control, which is what you look for in a wide receiver.
Jones back up, got another one, got out of bounds at 25. Guys played in 2 NFL games at Arizona, San Diego, Green Bay, Colts, Washington, been on a whole bunch of rosters.
Check that out. That is amazing.
Great
You're
catch.
going full speed to the middle of the field. The ball's behind you to control your body, contort it to come around and catch it with your fingernails. That's impressive. There's someone out there right now. Someone's watched this game. Scouts are all over the place. It's on tape. A guy like on Ray Jones makes a couple catches like he did, catches someone's attention.
Out of Hampton, he's been around the league a whole bunch. Here he is again. To the 9-yard line with $1:10 to go. Michael Coe made the tackle, and all these Giants cornerbacks, you know, things changed significantly tonight as they lost Terrell Thomas. The torn knee ligament right before halftime.
I think the Giants are going to be very much looking at corners around the league, potential trades, etc. They're hurt.
You go through. Bruce Johnson tore his Achilles 3 weeks ago. Tonight, Terrell Thomas, ACL, knee injury. Brian Witherspoon was hurt on a punt return. They were x-raying his knee. And we mentioned Prince Mukamara with the foot injury that would keep him out another 8 weeks or so. You even see a guy like Witherspoon, 3rd-year man out of Stillman, who was with a few NFL teams like Jacksonville and Detroit. And Perry Field told us he was the George Jefferson. That was Perry's term. He said he's the guy who's moving on up on this depth chart here. And
I still don't get that. Moving on up. I don't know.
It's a Jefferson show in the 70s. You're not too young for that. You do remember that. Haney throws it out of the back.
I feel like deja vu. Feels like the Bears have been in a tight red zone all night. Moving the ball well.
Well, they changed it up there and tried to get the play action, but even the reserves for the New York Giants were very aware it was going on. They played it very well. Didn't allow Haney any passing lanes to get that ball. He had to throw it away.
Sanzenbacher up top, one-on-one.
Shovel pass was even taken away there, and Pass incomplete, intended for Andre Smith, the rookie out of Virginia Tech, tight end.
Well, they're trying everything. They're trying I formation, play action passes, shovel passes, sprint out passes. Whatever you want to say, the Giants have defended everything.
Yeah, this is beautiful. He's trying to see the shovel pass underneath to Khalil Bell. The Giants are right there with it.
The guard stopped running it. You know, the left guard, if he just keeps coming, Edwin Williams, that play walks in.
Jones, incomplete.
I bet they review this, Mike.
I'm with you. I think they will. 35 seconds left. Take a look. One. Elbow. No. Out.
They might be out of replay tape. They've used
foot
a lot
down.
of it.
Elbow out. Then the foot came in. Heck of an effort by Jones. You happy now, John?
Thrilled.
One last shot to get in the end zone. Jones was held by Joe Burnett. That's 2 flags down here for Burnett. And they'll give the Bears a few more shots at it.
That was an easy call there. Just an inside break and back to the outside.
Yeah, he hooked him. I think the Bears just sent like 9 tight ends in the game. I think they're going to run this one.
For what it's worth, a couple of cleanup notes. The run by Scott for the touchdown earlier by the Giants, their last snap. It's the longest run in a preseason game in 6 years. Larry Johnson had a 97-yard run back in 2005. The Giants last had a win this big in the preseason in 1989. Khalil Bell fights to make it a bit tighter, and he's in for the touchdown. So Bell scores from a yard out. And that 45-7 Giants win over Kansas City in 1989. Not threatened in the record book.
So call that play G lead. The play side guard pulls, kicks out the edge man on the line of scrimmage. Rock a 215-pound back right off tackle. Nice work by Khalil Bell. He's also a very good special teams player. Talked about Barber, talked about Forte, Chester Taylor. Bell's fighting for a paycheck, Ron. Nice finish to a good night.
Matt Spate, the tight end, also had a nice block in there, John, acquired from the Pittsburgh Steelers to shore up that tight end position to be a little more physical up there. And Spate did a nice job down there, helping push that defense back a little bit, give Bell a little room.
41-13. Of course, this is the home of the Jets as well, and the Jets had their first home preseason game last night. Guys, we were here to watch the Jets beat Cincinnati, and Plexico Burress on a football field in a game for the first time in 1,000 days after he spent the 20 months in jail for the gun charge. 3 receptions, 66 yards, and that 26-yard touchdown. Of course, Burress had the Super Bowl winning catch for the Giants. And there's the New York Post back page. Hot shot they go with, as Burress will have an impact on the Jets, obviously, but it's also a guy who the Giants looked at trying to add back to their roster after he was here. And remember, when he ran into the problems with the gun charge, this was an 11-1 football team. Things spiraled. They lost the playoff game and haven't been to the playoffs the last couple of years.
Well, there's no question. We were here last night, Mike, as you said, and Plex certainly had a little giddy up in his step. I did not expect to see that. You know, his first catch wasn't real clean, but with the touchdown reception, when he gets one-on-one with no one in the middle of the field, the Bengals game with a blitz as a quarterback, you love having that big, tall, rangy target out there with that big wingspan that can just go up and take the ball away. I thought he looked very good, very impressive.
Well, Dave Tobe and the Bears special teams. He's the coach of the Bears special teams. Get a look at an onside kick here at 41-13 with 24 seconds left. Spencer Pasinger able to get it after he couldn't cleanly field it the first time. Falls on it. The Giants will take a knee, and they'll get out of here with the victory easily. But the biggest story off tonight, as we said, is that loss of Thomas, the starting cornerback for the Giants. That's one of those that kind of changes the whole complexion of a season.
Well, in this division especially, because Philadelphia, most of the time, they don't even have a back in the backfield. They spread you all over the place with formations. Dallas is wide open. Mike Shanahan now, he's acquired some veteran receivers. You need 3-4 corners that can play every Sunday. Giants are thin, and it's a concern.
Perilou was at LSU. Only played a couple of games, highly recruited, then ended up at Jacksonville State after dismissed from LSU. Takes that last snap, and the Giants walk off with the victory, 41-13. But not a lot of smiles and happy faces for those Giants. With the injury to Terrell Thomas, their starting cornerback, that ACL tear tonight. Both these teams 1-1 now in the preseason. Halfway through the preseason, a couple more weeks to go. We'll see you for the start of week 3 of the preseason, Thursday night with the Redskins and the Ravens. A little Beltway battle in Baltimore. Sports Center's coming up next. Complete recap of the day in sports. John Gruden, Ron Jaworski, Susie Colburn, our great Monday Night Football team. Mike Tirico, good night from the Meadowlands. To the presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. See you Thursday for the Redskins and Ravens. And Sports Center is just a few seconds away.